Parramatta with Isaiah Yongi, Mitch Moses, those sort of players. I'd love that sort of game if I'm Parra.
Well, we've only seen Parra live once so far this year, Louis, and that was in Melbourne where they got absolutely trounced. We saw and heard their stunning comeback against the Broncos in Brisbane, but it was chalk and cheese, wasn't it, the performance?
Yeah, absolutely. But they've got a pretty good record against the Dragons here, and they scored some points as well. So I'm expecting a lot of ball movement. I feel like looking at the changes with the Dragons, with Blake Laurie coming in, feels like maybe they want to go big man up the middle of the field. Then I look at what Parramatta are doing, and Dylan Walker comes in. For me, that's going, we're shifting the ball.
Yeah.
So today, this is a perfect afternoon for rugby league to move the ball from side to side. It's hot, so if they get that right and they hold the ball, they're going to put a lot of fatigue into the Dragons. So the signs are on the wall there that Parramatta are here to play.
They met in round 5 here last year, and Parramatta won 23-22 with that Zach Lomax field goal with a broken foot. But when they played in Wollongong in round 17, I'm sure we called this one too, St George Illawarra beat them 34 points to 20 in the Gong. So they split at 1 all. Prior to that, Parramatta had won at least 4 in a row. And at this ground, Parramatta's won 5 times, St George Illawarra on 2 occasions. So that's to come. John Gibbs has made his way down to the touchline. He's in the shadows of the Western Grandstand. So he's just walked onto the field. Gibbsy, how is it down there?
Yeah, thank you, Andrew. It's beautiful conditions. It's 26 degrees, which is quite warm. And there is a breeze coming in from east at about 15k, giving him some comfort to the conditions. But I've got to say, I just thought I'd come out and have a bit of a look. That fast lane, which I said is about 12 metres, you can see from where I'm standing here on the sideline to about 12 metres in. It's a patchwork quilt. It's all pieces of turf about a couple of metres wide, and it's really, there are many creases, so hopefully studs don't get stuck in it. So I would say that shag pile carpet in the middle may even be better than the outside, which is unusual because we normally see Western Sydney Stadium as one of the best presented surfaces in the league, but I think it's going to be okay. Conditions are dry, so we're going to see a good game of footy. I think it's imperative for the Dragons to have a chance in this game that they must start well.
Jonty, can you get your keys and just put it into the pitch?
I haven't got them.
Louis got them.
Don't tell me
Louis got them.
I've got a pen. Here we go. Oh, no.
Don't hurt yourself.
It's not too, no, that was just a little bit of false creaking. It's okay. Look, the surface will be okay, but I'm looking forward to seeing Josh Addo-Carr and Clinton Gutherson score tries here this afternoon. I think they're bankers.
So Addo-Carr scored 8 tries in his last 4 games here, and Clint Gutherson gives a double in his last 3 games here, is that right?
Correct. Those two both have got multiple tries in 3 consecutive games here at Western Sydney Stadium, and no player in the history of this ground has got 4 consecutive doubles. So there's a little bit of history, and we saw Tom Jenkins break something special for Penrith the other night, so it might be a repetition of that.
All right, John T, back to you shortly. On the text line, Dennis, the song of the week, always a highlight. Looking forward to seeing Dennis in Bulldogs gear at the gym this week. From the chin. Well, Dennis gets that one. Den Dog, that was one of your best from Rob the Rabbitoh. What intercept was the best 2016? I was at the Sydney Football Stadium to see James Maloney score against the Cowboys. I cheered on Luke Lewis watching telly against the Roosters, yet the best was Val Holmes turning the Cowboys fullback inside out at Shark Park. This is great.
Mine was in 18, not 16. I did the 2 back-to-back in 18. It was my last year.
Yeah.
But that one, I'm going to say James Maloney's one, that was going into the grand final against the Cowboys at Sydney Football Stadium. That was brilliant, because that's sort of, that when he scored that try, that was the spot where we go, we're in.
Oh, Christopher's written a text too. G'day boys, Christopher here. Hello mate, great to listen to you on the radio again. Looking forward to today's call. Happy the Broncos got up and beat the Storm 3 in a row. Bronx are back on track. Good on you, Christopher, and hope your 11 is treating you well. You're 11. for Christopher. Hey, Andrew and the boys. Andrew, happy birthday for tomorrow. May there be many more happy and healthy and safe birthdays ahead. Thanks for all the entertainment. Phil in Mudgee. Appreciate that very much, Phil. And I hope for the same thing. Marilyn says, Andrew, happy birthday for tomorrow. How do you think the Roosters will go next week against Manly at Brookvale? Jeez, thank you for the wishes, Marilyn. That'll be Thursday night footy. We'll be on air from 7 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time for that one on ABC. Listen in the app. But I'd probably tip them on the surface, the Roosters, to beat Manly, but I don't know. Any firmer thoughts than that?
No firm thoughts. Obviously, a desperate Manly side up against a Rooster side who aren't as desperate, but should be, because of how bad their start to the year. Obviously, all the rhetoric around DCE. He did media this morning. I was just speaking to a few journalists that were out there, and he obviously naturally tried to play down the occasion. Said he doesn't expect to be booed by the Brookie faithful.
I don't think he will either.
Well, he shouldn't. He shouldn't, that's for sure.
But in saying that, if you want to win, you could try and put him off his game a bit.
Did you get booed when you went back to Penrith?
No. They were brilliant out there.
I have the happiest of birthdays tomorrow, Andrew Moore. So happy after my mighty Penrith Panthers game on Friday. Have a great call from Panther fan in Bundaberg with kissy lips. That's very sweet. Hey, love listening to the radio on a Sunday afternoon. Can I get a shout out to Andrew, Xavier and Ethan having a swim in the pool in Wagga Wagga? Go the Eels. Hey, Andrew, Xavier, Ethan. Enjoy your swim. All right, players coming out. Who are you tipping, MC?
Parramatta.
See you tomorrow for NRL Monday. Dragons first out. Fullback Clint Gutherson. The wingers are Christian Chu-Pilotu and Setu 2. The centres are Moses Sully and Val Holmes. 5'8" Kyle Flanagan. Halfback Daniel Atkinson. The lock Blake Laurie. Second rowers Jaden Suwa and Luciano Leilua. Front rowers Toby Couchman and Emre Gula. Hooker Damien Cook and a bench of Jacob Little, Josh Kerr, Hamish Stewart, Ryan Couchman, Matthew Fingai and Lycan King Tongi to coach Shane Flanagan. There at the southern end, here come the Eels. Fullback Isaiah Iongi, wingers Bailey Simonson and Josh Addo-Carr. Centres Jordan Semrani and Sean Russell. 5'8" Jonah Pezzett. Halfback Mitch Moses. The lock Dylan Walker. Second rowers Kitione Kautonga and Kelma Tuolangi. Front rowers Junior Barlaw and Jack Williams. Hooker Riley Smith. The benches Jermaine Hopgood, Sam Tuivati, Matt Dury, Talon De Silva, Joash Papali and Charlie Geimer. Coach Jason Riles. The referee Ashley Klein. Touch judges are Drew Altram and Kieran Irons. Chris Butler in the back, the bunker. Louis, your tip?
Yeah, I feel like I'm going to go Parramatta as well.
And John Gibbs on the touchline.
Yeah, likewise, Parramatta.
Oh, well, that's a good sign for the Drags.
I'll make it 4 to make it even a better sign for the Dragons. So Parramatta will kick off, running left to right as you look at your radio, defending the northern end, the Leagues Club end of Parramatta Stadium. This crowd has really built up. It'll be 23,000. And St George Illawarra will get first use of the footy. Beautiful sunny late afternoon. And here we go. Ashley Klein says time on. And Shane Russell sends the kick midway between the goal line and the dead ball line. It comes open side right. And the tackle's made 11 metres out from the line on Emre Gula. He plays the ball now. It goes open side right to Leilua. He's caught 21 out from his own line. Damien Cook at dummy half. He goes short side right to Couchman. He's tackled 29 metres out from his own line. Played down to Cook. Short side right to Suwa. Knocked to the ground heavily. 12 short of halfway by Kautonga. Plays the ball now. Out of dummy half goes Damien Cook. Left foot step into Smith and Walker. Right on halfway. Right in the soccer circle. Last tackle played to Gutherson. He'll go deep to the halfback Atkinson. He sends an end over end kick down to the left wing. And it's caught down there, bringing the ball back as Iongi, and he's going to be driven back 14 out from his own line. No score, 1 minute gone. NRL Sunday on ABC Sport. The ball played and it comes right to Russell, and Sean Russell, he's dealt with 15 out from his own goal line. Plays the ball to Moses, sends a short ball right to Simonson. He's going to be getting through one. Laurie now tackled by Sully, 25 out from his own line. Play to Riley Smith, short ball left again. They're just trying to punch their way downfield. Tackle made, 32 out from the goal line by Addo-Carr. Plays it to the left, and now it's Barlow running off Walker. Dumped to the ground, 6 short of halfway. And there to greet him 3 defenders, including Su'a and Gula. Kicked downfield by Moses from his own 40. Down to the left wing of Christian Tuipulotu. That left thigh or hamstring heavily strapped. Returns it into Tuolangi and 2 others, including Semrani. 24 out from the St George Illawarra line. Now it comes open side right to Sully. He's nailed his outside. He's 30. No score, Luke Lewis. 2 minutes gone.
Yeah, no score, but both sides just wanted to go out there and get through a bit of a couple of sets without throwing too much at them. But there was an opportunity there early for Parramatta. They played at their back. There was a 3-on-1 situation, but I reckon they're just getting a bit of a read. So good stuff by both sides.
Good run up the middle here from Laurie. On halfway, played to Cook. Sends it right to Suar on the angle. He's knocked to the ground about 14 metres inside Parramatta territory. Played. And on the last, a kick downfield from Atkinson. Iongi coming after it. So is Gutlerson. Gutlerson the catch. Throws the ball behind him. Gets away from Tuolangi, and it's a penalty.
A player inside 10, but Rawlings made an interference.
So it's a penalty to St George Illawarra, the first of the game, certainly in goal-kicking range. It's 12 metres out, 4 or 5 metres to the right of the post. And we heard the explanation there coming from Ashley Klein.
I couldn't make out what he was saying, did you?
Someone taken off the ball, basically.
Oh, okay.
And the Dragons, Damien Cook, I'm sure about to tell Ashley Klein we're going to take the 2. That's exactly what he will do. 3 minutes gone, no score. Down to the touchline, John Gibbs.
Yeah, he said there was player offside interference by that player, Riley Smith. If he'd stayed out of it and been passive, but he came in, gave someone a little bit of a bump. So this is a gift, 2 points to start the game for the Dragons.
So the kick will be taken about 14 metres out, 15 metres out, just to the right of the post. The first points in this game. St George Illawarra to hit the lead. Valentine Holmes, who when he's on, kicks the ball as well or better than anybody. But in more recent years has become quite inconsistent. He's 15 metres out, just to the right of the post. 3 minutes 42 gone here at Parramatta. Valentine Holmes before this vociferous crowd moves in with the right boot, and he kicks the goal from handy range, and the Dragons do open the scoring. St George Illawarra 2, Parramatta 0. You with Luke Lewis, John Gibbs. I'm Andrew Moore, NRL Sunday. 4 minutes gone. Now around the grounds. And in the New South Wales Cup, Penrith 28, Sydney Roosters 12, Queensland Cup, North Devils and South Logan are 6 apiece. Second quarter AFL, Port Adelaide 53, leading Essendon 11. A-League men half-time, Newcastle 1, leading Sydney FC 0. And in the A-League women, full-time, Canberra United 3 defeated Adelaide United 2. First half, the Wanderers and Melbourne City had locked at no score. Third quarter of the netball, Melbourne Vixens 42, leading the Giants 29. And it's now the kickoff taken by the Dragons, 15 out from their own line. Gula plays it, goes right to Leilua, and Luciano's felled, 21 out from his own line by Barlow, Smith and Walker. Plays it to Cook, goes open side right, and that's a Couchman with a hitter. And Toby's tackled, 29 out from his own line by Tonga. Played to Cook, sends the ball left. Another strong run coming from Gula. Good run. Caught 6 short of halfway. Plays it quickly midfield to Damien Cook. Sets off from dummy half into Barlow and Smith. Tackles 3 metres in Parramatta territory. Last tackle Dragons, who lead 2-0. And it comes right. Atkinson the kick, despite the pressure of Riley Smith. Isaiah Iongi dressed to his left. Catches it on the full in his own 10-metre line. Confronted by Jaden Su'a. Might have been offside. It's a penalty. No, it's a penalty. Going to St George Illawarra.
I think it was Valentine Holmes gets knocked on the ground. I'm not too sure.
Tony takes out Val Escort.
There you go.
Take it out, Val.
Nice spotting. Kitiani Kautonga, the player penalised for taking out Val Holmes. So another shot for goal potentially here for the Dragons. They already lead 2-0 after 5 minutes 45. It's 11 metres out, 20 in from the eastern touchline.
We're taking the 2 again.
All right, guys.
Well, I'll get to Gibbs in a tick, but I don't know why you wouldn't take it when you did it at 0-0. Now you don't take it at 2-0 up. Here's Laurie from the tap. Quarter metre out from the goal line. We'll see, though, in this set. Played to Cook, spins it away left, and it's an inside ball from Atkinson, or rather Flanagan. Got it on the inside to Couchman. He's scored 5 metres out from the line. Cook awaits a dummy half. Spins it away right. Through hands it goes. Out the back line from Flanagan to Holmes. The cover comes across. Headed up by Russell. 4 metres out from the line. 10 in from touch in the northeast corner. Gutherson dummy half. Goes left. Atkinson away to Laurie. Caught in front of the northern post. 7 out from the line by Junior Barlaw. Played to Cook. Goes left now. Gula got it away. Flanagan linked up with support. And the tackle made only 2 metres out from the line. Last tackle. Holmes plays it to Gutherson. Goes right to Flanagan. Takes on the line. Tackle a metre out. Change over. Great defence by the blue and gold. They get the footy back. 7 gone. St George Illawarra 2. Parramatta 0. Down to you, Gibbsy, on the touchline.
Well, I can't quite understand, like you, Andrew, why you just wouldn't go up and building blocks at 2, 4, just keep accumulating points. It was a little bit more difficult than the other kick, but it certainly wasn't a tough one. So I can't understand. They could have got to a 4-0 lead and they'd had the ball back.
And it's an unconverted try. It's not an insignificant lead. Meanwhile, they didn't do it. They still lead 2-0, and here's Tuolangi, tackled by Tuapoloto. 20 out from his own line. Played to Riley Smith. He sent it left to Isaiah Eong. He tackled 25 out from his own goal line. Played now to Smith. Spins it away left side. Centre field to Dylan Walker. Dummies his way into the defence. Caught by Laurie. And plays it outside his 30 on the last. Riley Smith with a left foot kick. Over the head of the winger on that far side of the field. Setu 2. He's got an 8 out from his own line. Spins it centre field left to Gutherson. And he takes on Moses and Smith on his own 20. St George Illawarra 2. Parramatta 0 after 8 minutes. Now the ball played. It's fired to the left. And it's Gutherson turning it on the inside, or rather Flanagan turned it on the inside to support in Tuapoloto. He scored 28 out from his own line. Played to Flanagan. Sends it right to Moses Sully. Barnstorming run over the top of Riley Smith, who stayed down. 10 short of halfway, and they'll check. It might be a... has he gone up limping? I thought it was a head knock. But he is going to be asked to play it with Ashley Klein, basically ensuring the Eels trainer can do a welfare check on Riley Smith. And he gets back into the defensive line. 5 short of halfway. Played to Cook, goes right. Toby Couchman runs into Smith and Barlaw. About a metre in Parramatta territory. Now comes to the left side. Flanagan away to Leilua. Moses greets him with Tuolangi, and Luciano Leilua knocks it on. The mistake comes from St George Illawarra. Clint Gutherson waving his fist as if to indicate it should be 6 again, but instead it's a Parramatta scrum feed. 9 short of halfway. Dragons 2, Eels 0. Louis, 8 minutes 30 gone.
Yeah, that was a loose carry there from Luciano Leilua, but there is a lot of opportunity for Parramatta on their left side. So the Dragons' right-hand defence. Set 2-2 goes back very early when they're coming out of their own end, and it's leaving a 3-on-1 opportunity if they play at the back from Dylan Walker. So it wouldn't be a surprise if they go there in the next 10 minutes or so.
So Parramatta with the scrum feed on halfway. We'll get your text messages as well. 0467 920 222 as Parramatta send it left, having won the scrum, and it's Russell who's put to the ground by Sewer. Now they go short side left again. Great run by Kautonga. Finally caught 6 metres in Dragons territory. Played to Smith. Goes open side right to Jack Williams. Right up the centre he goes. Barnstorming run by Williams. Caught 29 out from the St George Illawarra line. Played to Smith. Long ball goes right. Through hands away Moses. Short ball to Alangi. Tackled 20 out for the goal line. Now Smith. Set restart is well awarded here to Parramatta. Play the ball infringement. Walker gets it away left this time, and it's Williams tackle. 14 metres out from the line. Plays it to Smith. Goes right. Moses out the back. Iongi links up there with the centre Semrani. Caught after a right foot step. 6 out from the Dragons goal line by Leilua. Now Smith. Spiralling ball left to Moses to Walker. Walker dummies. Takes them on. Good tackle Toby Couchman. But another set restart inside the 10 I believe. 7 metres away. Goes left to Peasant to Kautonga. Kautonga loses it on play 1. And we're going to go to the bunker.
He got pulled back there. It was Jonah Peasant.
Initially called. I've got no try here. We're actually looking at the possibility of a penalty try as a player gets taken out who probably is going to get the ball, and he's in front of everyone. He's illegally grabbed from behind.
Yeah, Jonah Peasant. I reckon he gets the ball back here and scores. He actually goes through and plays a really nice short ball to Kautonga. And then as he goes through, Peasant actually pushes through, goes to get the ball back, and then Jaden Stewart grabs him around the collar.
Can you maintain possession through that contact?
Here it is now, just about to show the replay.
We haven't got to the
Open line, and it pulls him back before he even gets the ball.
Yeah, it's
Jaden Stewart now clearly grabs Jonah Peasant, who at that point has no defenders in front of him, and in our opinion, if he was able to obtain this pass, the try would have been scored. We have a decision.
Wow, what a moment. It's going to be a penalty try to Jonah Peasant against Jaden Stewart. 10 minutes and 8 seconds gone. It is a penalty try. Louis picked that up immediately. Parramatta 4, St George Illawarra 2. Penalty try to Jonah Peasant.
Yeah, well, this is definitely happening. And that left edge, it looks like that's where they've got to go all day. There's been so much space. They're isolating the halfback over there in Daniel Atkinson, and he keeps getting one-on-one tackles with Cartonga. It's going to be very hard. But that pass was going straight back to Jonah Peasant. He would have hit him on the chest with about a metre to run with an open try line. So I can understand the penalty try there. Good work by Parramatta to keep asking questions. They look sharp when they get in the right area of the field.
And as is the case after a penalty try, the kick from Moses will be right in front. How did you see it all, Gibbsy?
Yeah, well, good spotting by Louis, but also Ashley Klein. He realised straight away. I'm not so sure penalty try was the right instance. I'd like to see the right result, but I don't think it's egregious, but he would have been in the bin anyway, so who knows what might have happened. But fair enough, but good work by Pesa to Kitione Cartonga, and back to Pesa, Jaden Stewart, bad play.
Here's Moses right in front, 10 metres out, kicks the goal, and now Parramatta 6 leading St George Illawarra 2. NRL Sunday with Luke Lewis, John Gibbs, and I'm Andrew Moore. On the text line, 0467 920 222. Shout out to Hannah, who's listening, driving from Newcastle to Crescent Head. Scott from Penrith. Hi team, thanks for broadcasting today's Eels Dragons game. I wanted to wish Andrew a very happy birthday for tomorrow. Good on you, Scott. I appreciate that, mate. Matt in Bendigo asked if Gutho was still the king out there. Well, it's probably still his nickname, but not according to the crowd. Love your work, gents. Great win by the Bunnies. What do you think, boys, of our number 7 options? I think we'll need to look around for a seasoned playmaker, says Ebster. We might try and address that a little bit later. Happy birthday, Andrew. Have a great and healthy new season. Go the Finns. Tony from Cairns. Thank you, Tony. They were outstanding yesterday, weren't they? From the kickoff, it's Junior Barlow returning it. Tackled 13 out from his own line with the Eels in front 6-2. And yes, that try does go to the tally of Jonah Peasant. As now it's Simonson, caught 22 out from his own line by Gula and Couchman. Played to Riley Smith. Goes centre field left to Dylan Walker, and up the middle he's taken by Laurie and Cook. 32 out from his own line. Also in there was Jaden Stewart. Played to Smith. Comes left to Williams. Jack Williams caught 8 short of halfway by Laurie. Smith awaits. Comes back open side right towards Iongi. And the Eels fullbacks caught just short of halfway. Centre field, last tackle Eels. Smith goes to his right. Mitch Moses the kick. It's high and it's shallow. Down to the left wing of Christian Tuipulotu. Fields it under no pressure. 16 out from his own line. Returns it into Semrani and Tuolangi. 28 out from his own line. Dragons with it. Dummy half Flanagan. Goes right to Sully. Straight past one Williams. And now taken 8 short of halfway. There to greet him was Cartonga and also Walker and Smith. Now comes right edge away to 2. Setu 2 is tackled. 2 metres, of course it was 2 metres, inside Parramatta's territory. They go left to Laurie, then away to Flanagan. Cut out ball finds Sully, and he's tackled 38 out from the Parramatta line. 10 in from the western touchline. 6-2 in favour of the Eels. Dragons on the attack. It comes from Flanagan right to Gula. Caught in a 3-man tackle. 31 out from the Parramatta line. Barlow was in there with Williams. Down to the right. The kick on the last from Daniel Atkinson to the northeast corner. Who wants it? Addo-Carr does. The ball comes back loose on the ground. Touched by Addo-Carr. 6 more tackles for St George Illawarra. 10 metres out from the line. What an opportunity here for the red and the whites. Ball played and it comes short side right to Suar, who's tackled 5 metres out from the Parramatta goal line. Cook is a dummy half. He'll swing it open side to the left. An inside ball comes to Laurie. He's scored 8 metres out from the line. Now Cook, set restart, hand on the football, so a restart here for the Dragons. They're only 2 metres away. Cook goes to his right. Laurie crashed to the ground a metre out from the line in front of the right upright. Plays the ball to Cook. He goes left away. Flanagan turns it into Leilua. He runs through half a gap, beats a tackle. He's over to score. He got straight through Jack Williams. Try to Luciano Leilua. It's right between the posts. And in the 13th minute, they hit back the Dragons straight away. It's now 6-all. Parramatta and St George Illawarra. Kick to come Dragons, Luke Lewis.
Yeah, well, there's not a whole lot going on except for Parramatta just switch off in the middle of the field. Luciano Leilua just gets a simple cross, and then there's a huge gap in the middle of the field, and Jack Williams couldn't get the tackle done. All he had to do is sort of gets wrong-footed. Doesn't put much into that tackle at all. And then it's just a big man v little man going over the try line. That was just too easy. Isaiah Youngie didn't look like he would even bruise a grape in that tackle, so nice carry there from the Dragons.
Yeah, 6-all. Val Holmes lines it up from in front. Touchline, John Gibbs.
Yeah, Leilua there, good run, coming back at the angle. It was after a spilt bomb by Josh Addo-Carr, gave them 6 again. They've struggled under the bomb. They've come up with a couple of errors. All of their points have been conceded by things that are directly resulted from bombs.
There is a Dragons player down back on halfway with a trainer, and the team has circled that player. Here's Val Holmes. Hopefully that's nothing serious. Val Holmes, 11 out, right in front, Northern End. Moves in with the right boot and kicks the goal. He's 2 out of 2. And it is St George Illawarra in front, 8-6 over Parramatta. And Gibbs, it looks like that player on his back on halfway is just getting a leg strap.
Yeah, I think it might be Toby Kaufman.
It is, yeah.
Because he was hurt about 2 minutes ago, and he lived for a while, then he sort of battled to get back into the field of play. So he did something about 2 or 3 minutes ago in a tackle, and obviously it is worrying him, but he's going to be okay by the looks.
Yeah, it looks just above the ankle on the left leg. So Dragons up 8-6. 14 minutes gone. Already an entertaining game here at Western Sydney Stadium. Around the grounds, New South Wales Cup, Penrith 32, leading the Roosters 12. Queensland Cup, 6-all, North Devils v South Logan. No score, Ipswich v Brisbane Tigers, and no score, winner Manly against the Dolphins. Second quarter AFL, Port Adelaide giving Essendon a hiding, 61-11, as the kickoff is returned and the Dragons have it 12 out from their own line. A-League men, Newcastle 1, leading Sydney FC 0 into the second half. First half A-League women, no score, Western Sydney and Melbourne City. And third quarter of the netball, Melbourne Vixens 51 lead the Giants 38. As now the Dragons have a 24 out from their own goal line with a 2-point lead. Ball played and it comes to the left edge. Suar tackled by Walker. Mid-quarter halfway. Dragons territory. Now to the left it goes to Couchman. Got through to Alungi and taken by Walker and Williams just short of halfway. Last tackle midfield. It comes right to Atkinson and he puts the kick down to the Norris corner. Taken by Addo-Carr. 18 out from his own line. Puts on a bit of a step into Laurie and Co and wrapped up 24 out from his own line. Dragons 8, Eels 6 with quarter of an hour gone. So now Parramatta get to their own 30 on play 2. And they give away a set restart in the play the ball. So the set restart's a 3-1 in favour of Parramatta, who moved to within 12 of halfway. And a dummy half Riley Smith. Short ball goes to the right edge. Samrani tackled just short of halfway by Toby Couchman. It's played to Smith, goes left to Walker, then away. Williams away to Barlaw, nearly beat them all and then threw the ball back to the Dragons. What was he doing, Junior Barlaw? Scooped up now by St George Illawarra, and a scampering run gets them to halfway as Kelma Tuolangi finally made the tackle on Damien Cook, plays it to Gutherson, goes right to Tui Pilotu. He scored 8 metres in Parramatta territory. St George Illawarra 8, Parramatta 6. Gutherson dummy half, goes right, Flanagan turns it on the inside to support, and the tackle made on Gula, 35 metres out. Played to Cook, goes left Laurie, then away to Gutherson, turns it into Suley. He's going to be taken by Tuolangi, Walker and Smith. 28 out from the line, stood in the tackle, played to Cook, goes right to Toby Couchman. He's felled by Williams, 20 metres out from the line. Tuolangi was there as well. 2 tackles left for St George Illawarra. And now left to right, Flanagan, Atkinson, Gutherson, then away to Val Holmes. Great tackle out there by Russell. 12 out from the line, 5 in from the eastern touchline, played on the last to Gutherson, ran out of room, sent it back left now, crossfield kick from Atkinson, looking for Leilua. Semrani can't tackle it, Leilua comes away with it. It goes back to Tuapoloto, ball lost, and diving on the ball is Bailey Simonson. And it'll be knock on from the Dragons. It'll come back and play the ball for Parramatta. 10 out from their own line. Nearly 17 gone, Louis. 8-6 St George Illawarra in front.
Yeah, if I was Jason Riles, I'd be a little bit nervous because the Parramatta side looks so tight. Like ridiculously tight. Their forwards can hardly move. And it's that's not a good sign when you're only, 15 minutes in, 16 minutes into the game. So, yeah, scary signs there for Parramatta.
Yeah, I wonder if Hopgood comes on shortly for the Parramatta Eels, who take it now 28 out from their own line. Centre of the park. The ball played to Riley Smith. Goes to his right to Barlow. Bang! He ran straight through David Cook. Now caught 10 short of halfway by Couchman and two others, including Flanagan. Moses attacks the short side right. Got through Flanagan. Taken by Leilua. 4 metres in Saints territory. Played on the last. Smith goes left. Here's the kick. Jonah Peasant. It's a floater. Down to Gutherson. Southwest corner. He let it bounce. What happened? Goes back to Tuolungi. He puts a banana kick off the outside of his boot, straight to Sedu 2, and he scored 15 out from his own line. What was he doing with Guffo? It's 8-6 Dragons, and George Illawarra working right to Suar. He's taken by Williams and Peasant outside his 20, down to the touchline, John Gibbs.
Well, that was a dangerous one by Gutherson to let that one bounce. What a great kick by Jonah Peasant, as we see a strong run on that right side by Val Holmes.
So now the Dragons get up over their 40. It is Gutherson running it into Barlaw and Smith and Walker. 1 metre short of halfway. Cook. Cut out pass left to Toby Couchman. Takes on Tonga in the centre of the field, and he still ekes his way over the 40. Finally hits the deck. 34 out from the Parramatta line. Great run by Toby Couchman. On the last, comes right to the halfback Atkinson. Kick down the throat of Isaiah Iongi. 6 metres out from his own line for Parramatta, and he's going to be caught centre field 15 out from his own line. I do see Jermaine Hopgood warming up on this western touchline as Bailey Simonson at first receiver. Good run, caught 28 out from his own line, played quickly, and it comes from Peasant away to Semrani. He throws the ball just along the ground, scooped up by Peasant. Jonah Peasant, a cut-out pass. That was a hospital pass for Russell. He's knocked to the ground, 35 out from their own line. What is this panic play from the Eels, Lou?
Well, it's not panic plays. That was a really nice offload, but they're too tired to push up and be running onto the ball. So they're hitting the ground, and they're thinking, oh, because there's been an offload, we've got to play. They just haven't got the energy there at the moment, Parramatta.
Yeah, Tonga plays it. Smith goes open side right. Parramatta with the footy, and that's Hopgood's first hit up. He's caught right on the halfway line. Looks like he's on for Williams. Comes on the last tackle to Moses. End over end kick down to Christian Tuipulotu. Drops back into the shade. Catches it 2 metres out from his own line. Over the 10 he goes. Into Tuolungi and Barlaw and Walker. 19 out from his own line. St George Illawarra 8, Parramatta 6. Sunday afternoon, NRL here on ABC Sport with almost 20 minutes gone. Ball played Gutherson. He sent it right to Setu 2, and he scored 13 metres short of halfway. Ryan Couchman on the field now for St George Illawarra in the 17 jersey. He has the hit up, and he's taken 5 short of that halfway paint. Plays the ball now to Cook. Goes left, searching for offload was Gula, but he's tackled by Tuolungi. 3 metres in Eels territory. Last tackle, centre of the park on halfway. The kick from Daniel Atkinson. Dropping back Addo-Carr. Takes it on the full, 6 out from his own line. Heads over the 10 to the 20, and he's going to be surrounded by the chase, headed by Ryan Couchman. 19 out from his own line. I tell you, Louis, what the Dragons are doing well, and that is keeping the Eels, by and large, pinned in their own territory to start their sets.
Yeah, keep the ball in play. They get the ball downfield nicely. A couple of set restarts isn't helping their cause, but they're doing a good job to put fatigue into that Parramatta outfit.
Sam Tuivasa comes on the field now for the Parramatta side, and he hits the ball up, taken by Couchman, 8 metres short of halfway after the 4th set restart was issued there to the Eels. Riley Smith, centre field left to Hopgood. He's taken there by the Couchmans, right on halfway. Plays the ball to Smith. He goes to his left, away to a stepping Peasant. Wrapped up by Suar, 10 metres in Dragons territory. Now Smith going right to Moses. Short ball away to Viti, and he's put to the ground. About 31 out from the line. On the last, it comes right to Moses. Sends a probing kick. Gutherson flies high. He couldn't handle it, but neither could Simonson. He ended up with the catch and knocks it on Bailey Simonson. They will get to play the ball, the Dragons. 10 out from their own line. 21 minutes 30 gone. 8-6. Dragons lead Eels. Touchline, John Gibbs.
Well, both sides having difficulty with the bombs, and it's a little bit swirly here. That breeze basically coming across the ground at about 15k from the east, and it is causing the players plenty of problems. Another player, Lou, you're talking about players looking tired. Dylan Walker, he doesn't normally start games. He's a really good player off the bench. He has struggled recently.
So now it is the Dragons go up over their 30 through one of the couchmen. That was Toby. Gets a pass back. Took away Gutherson. Under to Moses and Tuolangi. And on his back, 5 metres short of the halfway paint. Cook a dummy half. Looks short side left. Goes open side right. And towards 6 metres inside Parramatta territory. All played by Ryan Couchman. Comes left to Ledua. Moses down low. Smith over the top. Flick one out the back. And then knocked backwards by Flanagan to Cook. Goes right to the halfback Atkinson, and he's nailed there with coming across Sam Tuivati. 30 out from the line. Now Flanagan. Sends it right to her. The ball touched in flight by Russell, and he regathers as he attempted the intercept, but it is a knock on Parramatta. A scrum feed to St George Illawarra. 20 out from the Parramatta line. 17 minutes 20 left in the half. 8-6 in favour of St George Illawarra. On the text line, happy 50th for tomorrow, Mr. Moore. Nothing excessive, thank you. 4 decades and change since Eels hosted the Dragons in 86 at Parra Stadium. First try scorer, as we all know, Steve Sharp. Was John Gibbs commentating on the sideline that game? Asked Michael, the carpool karaoke Uber driver. You might have even been in the box, Gibbsy.
1986, I probably was on the sideline.
Oh, yeah. Ray Price was in the box, wasn't he?
Yep.
Okay. Here's Dragons, 16 metres out from the line, and trust me, there'll be no excess tomorrow. It worked. Here it comes away now for St George Illawarra's Ryan Couchman. Goes across field, wrap round ball to Gutherson. Gutherson heads back to the right, drag to the ground. Good defence by Tavati. 21 metres out. Sam Tuivati will get it right eventually. There's now St George Illawarra up the middle to within 9 metres of the goal line. Toby Couchman plays the ball to Damien Cook. Sends it away right to Atkinson. Short ball to Su'A. He is straight through to score an easy try. St George Illawarra 12 pack. Symbol of tries in the end, scored by Jaden Su'A, Luke Lewis.
Yeah, well, this is just a matter of someone running really hard and willing to punch into a hole, and it gives no other option but to play short. The ball was probably line ball, but you can't look at it anyway. But really nice work there from Daniel Atkinson just to square up the defensive line, and Su'A running 100 miles an hour on an inside shoulder of a halfback. It's a tough tackle to make, and that's a great try there from the Dragons. But put this down to just being consistent with the ball, getting it down the other end of the field, and they'll get their opportunity, and they just made the Parramatta Eels pay.
They're playing this really intelligently, aren't they, the Dragons so far? Touchline, John Gibbs.
Yeah, good ball play there. Daniel Atkinson's doing a really good job, and he's been pummeled a couple of times, but he's a tough hombre. He's straight up and into it. He just faded across field to that eastern side of the field, and coming back at a beautiful angle was Jaden Su'A. He's a lovely player when he finds a hole. He's a very good hole runner, but that was excellent work. We've seen coming against the grain both tries. Luciano Leilua coming from the opposite side, and on this occasion, Jaden Su'A. That's a good lead.
So now the kick from Holmes, 14 metres out, 5 metres to the right of the uprights. For an 8-point lead. Here comes Holmes with the right boot. Strikes it, likes it, kicks the goal. He is 3 out of 3, and it's St George Illawarra 14, Parramatta 6 here at Western Sydney Stadium. On the text line 0467 920 222. Afternoon all, enjoying the coverage as I'm about to go on a bushwalk through Cowan Forest, hoping for a St George win. Well, Michael from Canberra, as you set on your walk, you'd be happy right now. 14-6 the Dragons lead. Afternoon, Andrew. Happy birthday for tomorrow. I believe your birthday is 10 days early. 10 days early. No, it's definitely tomorrow. Ray Gutho, the king. We all know there's only one king, and that's King Wally Lewis. A great Queens up the mighty Eels, says Terry Brackenridge. G'day, team. Listening in from Hong Kong. Great to hear you back in Formori. Shy Bulldog, thank you. And happy birthday for tomorrow, Andrew. I hope you have a wonderful day and have fun on the show with Michael tomorrow. That's Dion. Appreciate it, Dion. And now St George Illawarra play 2, having scored the try to extend their lead, and it's Emre Gula caught on his own 20. Plays the ball to Cook, and he sends it right to Couchman. They're going to confuse me all day, but this time it is Ryan Couchman. Tackled 32 out from his own line by Smith. Played to Cook. Goes right to Atkinson, then away to Gutherson. Turns it into Holmes. He's over halfway. Over the 40. Links up with support. He does. Back to Atkinson. Drag to the ground, and it was a forward pass. The last pass team forward by referee Ashley Klein, and Parramatta will get the scrum feed 31 out from their own line. Val Holmes is absolutely stunned. 14-6, the Dragons lead. It was brilliant play by St George Illawarra. Great inside pass by Gutherson to Holmes. Streaked away, and then the pass. Oh yeah, I reckon that was forward. I think they got that right to Atkinson. What say you, Luke Lewis?
Oh, definitely forward. It floated forward, but it was the part where he had to pump it and then hold it, which created it. If he had a throw it straight away, it would have been fine, but that's a beautiful play. They're going to keep going to Jonah Peasant. There's a lot of space around that part of the field. That's where the Dragons need to stay.
So Parramatta defeat the scrum on their own 30. 14-6 Dragons, 13 minutes 10 seconds left in the half. From the scrum when it goes right to Bailey Simonson. Now to dummy half Mitch Moses, ran into the offside Sully, bounced away from him and now caught right on halfway, and it is a set restart going to Parramatta. That's the 5th they've earned in this first half in 27 minutes. Now the Eels 5 metres in Dragons territory. The ball played by Simonson, comes to the left, through hands, Barlaw away to Peasant. Tip on the Yongi, linked up with Russell to Addo-Carr, steps away from Val Holmes, now caught 24 out from the St George Illawarra line. 10 in from touch on the eastern side, plays the ball to Russell, comes to the right Peasant, out the back he goes, and take on the defence is Hopgood. Wrapped up 17 out. The crowd now making noise for Parramatta. Oh, Hopgood's hurt. And the St George Illawarra defender instantly called out to the referee. So he's on his back. It was Damien Cook showing concern for Jermaine Hopgood, who's writhing in pain.
I think it's his ankle.
Oh, yuck. I hate seeing that.
Yeah, I think they won't look at it as a hip drop, I don't think.
Well, he's got his hands to the back of his head. He's in a lot of pain, John Gibbs. Down to you on the touchline.
Yeah, he's gone, Jermaine Hopgood. You don't have a reaction like that, and nothing's good's going to come of it. We'll have to have a look again, Louis. There were players spinning around. He was caught in an awkward position, but I'm like you. I didn't instantly think hip drop, but we'll see. So it's his ankle and his knee that have been injured in this.
I think the
fighters both.
Sorry, Gibbsy. Definitely a bit of body did fall on the back of his ankle, but I don't know if it was like one of those ones where they've just tried to fall down. It was one of those tackles where you sort of make it, you come around, and the body does land. Here it is here, comes around, Couchman lands on the back of his ankle there. See that?
Yeah. To me, that's just a footy thing. So I never know what's going to be a hip drop or what's not. There are some that are clear, but others that, who knows? Toby Couchman just had a word with referee Ashley Klein, and the most important thing at the moment is Jermaine Hopgood still on his back with the trainer. 12 minutes 24 left in the half. St George Illawarra 14, Parramatta 6. If you missed our earlier chats, incidentally, with Canterbury coach Cameron Ciraldo, was that today? That seems like ages ago. And Couchman's been called out here. Let's have a listen to Ashley Klein. Will be a hip drop.
I don't need you to say anything there, but there's a high risk of injury with the action there. You've got a grip, a high risk of injury. You're on the court and you're in the bin for 10 minutes.
So Couchman in the bin. He trots off the field. St George Illawarra 14, Parramatta 6 with 12 and a half to go. And Jermaine Hopgood gives you down there. He's coming from the field as well.
Yeah, he's no good. I think that's a tough call against Ryan Couchman, and he's shaking his head. I think that would have been better advice than just to penalise him and say high risk of injury. But what had happened, he was hanging on. He didn't go onto the legs of the player until the other Parramatta defenders came over the top, and that's what created that situation. I think he's really unlucky there, albeit for the injury to Jermaine Hopgood.
Has come from the field. Smith takes the tap and he gets it away to his right. Sam Tuivasa tackles, 6 out from the goal line. Plays the ball now to Smith. Spins it away left. Peasant short ball, Barlaw. Backs his way into Suar and Cook. Dragons down to 12 men for the next 9 minutes and 40 seconds, but they lead 14-6. Smith comes right to Peasant. Links up with Moses, turns it into Tuolangi. He's caught 8 or 9 metres out from the St George Illawarra line. Hamish Stewart's on the field and involved in that tackle with Cook. Smith goes left to Pezzett, out the back to Moses. Got away from Val Holmes. Puts in a stab kick. They're coming through in numbers. Diving for the ball for Parramatta. Kautonga. Did he get it down or not near the dead ball line? No, it beat him over. 20-metre tap. 7 tackles set for the Dragons. Val Holmes takes it really quickly. Ran into Smith and the Yongi, and he's scored 15 short of halfway. Good thinking there by Holmes. Ball played, and it comes away to Setu 2, the right winger. He gets a wraparound ball back in the tackle to Cook. Links up away left to Stewart, and Hamish has caught a metre in Parramatta's half. Cook in a dummy half. Sends it left this time, and taking the tackle is Couchman. That's the starting front rower, Toby Couchman, with his brother in the bin. There's now Suar. Gets a two-handed offload to Gutherson. Throws one out the back. Kills a few worms. Picked up by Leilua. 41 out from the line. He goes from one side to the other. Dumped to the ground by Tuolangi. 35 out from the goal line. Played to Cook. He sends it open side right. Good strong run there coming by Hamish Stewart. 25 out. Last play Dragons. It goes Flanagan short side. Leilua back to Gutherson. A little stab kick goes out. That wasn't the intention, although Gutherson's claiming the ball was touched in flight, and he's running over to express that view to Ashley Klein. 10 and a half minutes to go in the half. We're going to get a challenge. We will. Gutherson was adamant. Let's listen in.
Yeah, definitely comes off Moses.
Dragons believe the ball was played out before it goes into touch.
Well, Mitch Moses puts his leg out and hits the shin of Mitch Moses, and he moves his leg to stop the ball. So this will be a good challenge from the Dragons.
Well, if you say that, I don't need a replay.
Look at the right leg here of Mitchell Moses. He extends it to play at the ball. Just restarts the tackle count. The ball now goes into touch. The captain's challenge will be successful.
What part of his leg did it come off?
The shin.
They play the ball in the
So
middle.
now it's going to be a play the ball for
You know, another friend doesn't like the word shin.
Really, I've had a similar friend. And he's got a Russian friend that didn't like it. So now it's going to be played by Toby Couchman. 10 metres out with a new set for St George Illawarra. Flanagan sends it inside to Leilua. Straight past Smith, taken by Tuolangi. Desperately 5 out. Dragons looking for a third try with a 14-6 lead. To the right, Flanagan to Atkinson. Out the back to Gutherson. Links up with Val Holmes. Straight past Russell. And then Val Holmes throws it straight over the touchline. Big unforced error from Val Holmes. Parramatta survive early in the tackle count, and they will play the ball 10 out from their own line. Yes, if you missed our chats with Cameron Serraldo and Jai Gray, you can catch up in the ABC NRL Daily podcast feed. In fact, all our pre-game interviews will be there, along with all our segments. 6 again, First Thought, Getting to Know You, MC's Hammer Time, Dennis's Song of the Week, and so on. It is all there for you after the broadcast today. You can search for ABC NRL Daily wherever you get your podcast, or find it via ABC Listen. Here's Parramatta 8 metres short of halfway. And don't forget ABC Rapid. I'll get you to explain that to me, Louis, shortly. As Parramatta go 3 metres into St George Illawarra territory, playing the ball to Avati. It comes left now to Matt Dury on the field. He beats one tackle, got straight through the defence there of Leilua, and he plays it 35 out from the Dragons line. Comes right on the last of Moses, sends it down to the left wing of Christian Tuapolotu. He'll send it back into Tuolangi and Semrani and also Williams. 8 metres out from his own line. St George Illawarra 14, Parramatta 6, 9 minutes to go in this first half. The Dragons right on top. And he comes right to Setu 2. He's caught 28 out from his own line, middle of the field at the southern end. Ryan Couchman in the bin for another 6 minutes and 15 seconds. The Dragons now 11 short of halfway. Played by Tuapolotu to Cook. Goes from dummy half, then works it right to Gutherson. He's caught on halfway in the centre of the ground by Tuolangi. Played on the last, goes right to Atkinson, just short of halfway. Right boot the ball. Will he find the grass? He will. And turns around Isaiah Yongi. He couldn't get it, but with him was Addo-Carr, who dives on it. 2 out from his own line. St George Illawarra 14, Parramatta 6. 8 minutes left in the half, as now they work it left, and Russell scored 9 out from his own line, Louis.
Well, the Dragons are down one player, and they look like they got the overlap. They look like they got the more energy. They're not the team under the pump. It's the Parramatta Eels that are under the pump, and they got everyone on the field. That was a poor decision there from the Parramatta fullback, Isaiah Iongi, to just let the ball bounce. It almost turned dangerous for him. You've got to catch every ball. If you can get to it on the full, and then it doesn't become dangerous. But the Dragons, they're looking really sharp out there at the moment.
Well, you know, talking earlier today with Gary Jack, one of the best bomb takers of all time, I'm sure guys like him are horrified that defending teams don't even try to catch footies. Let's go downstairs. Gibbsy is there.
Yeah, and they didn't used to have disruptors in those days either. There's a player going to headbend. There's Ryan Couchman. So not a good afternoon so far for the identical twins Couchman. So we have an update also on Jermaine Hopgood. It's a knee problem, so he twisted badly, but it's a knee problem, the predominant problem, and he's highly unlikely to return with about 5.5 to go for Ryan Couchman in the bin. But they're all over them. The fact they've got 12 men isn't worrying us in George Illawarra.
Well, the Couchman's just swapped jerseys. I don't know which one they come back out.
That's a really good point. I wonder if they've done that. You would if you were one of them. Imagine you as a twin.
Oh, identical twin to our.
Oh, my goodness. You and Walter Lewis. Here's Parramatta. And the tackle made 20 metres out from their own line. As the ball's played now by Semrani. Streaking onto it, Simonson. Caught 32 out from his own line. Now played. It comes to the right. Fired away there to Moses. 15 short of halfway. Drills the kick to the southwest corner. Good take in the end by Gutherson. Returns it over the 10. Heads over the 20. Taken now by Tuivati. And also Dury. About 24 out from his own line. Talon De Silva on the field now as well for Parramatta. The former West Tigers dummy half. He's replaced Riley Smith. Now the Dragons has played to Atkinson. Goes right to Val Holmes. Talk about rocks and diamonds. That's been Val today. Here's a diamond of a pass. Back to Atkinson, away to Su'A. Hit the spin. He got the pass back to Stewart. He's caught on halfway. St George Illawarra with 12 men leading Parramatta 14-6. Cook goes to the left edge, and that's Josh Kerr on the field. Taking 11 metres in Eels territory. Now Cook goes right to Atkinson to Su'A. Jaden Su'A shoved backwards. Almost lifted up by the defence. 25, make it 35 out from the Eels line. Last tackle. Comes short side right. Atkinson the kick from 38 metres out. Down to the northeast corner. Up goes Isaiah Iongi. Great catch. 23 out from the Parramatta line. Dragons 14, Eels 6. 6 minutes 30 left in the half. Now comes right to Russell, and he's caught inside the 30 for Parramatta.
Yeah, that's a lot better there from Isaiah Iongi. He just gets up, he attacks it, does not take his eyes off the ball, and look really confident doing it. Parramatta got to start playing a little bit more football. They've still got 3 minutes with one player down. The Dragons, they've got to shift to the left. There's a lot of space out there for them.
Here's an offload by Simonson to Semrani. Goes away Moses. Rounded up by Flanagan and Stewart. 11 short of halfway. 19 in from the western touchline. The ball played to De Silva. Goes right to left Peasant. Then turns it on the inside. And Tuivati's tackled on halfway. De Silva goes right to a running Mitch Moses. Links up out the back to Ilangi, away to Semrani. Steps straight past Kerr. Got it away to Peasant. He links up with De Silva and he's over to score. Great try, Parramatta. Not great defence by the Dragons, but Parramatta do score against 12 St George Illawarra players. Finished off by Talon De Silva. 5 minutes 30 to go in the half. St George Illawarra 14, Parramatta 10, Louis.
Yeah, well, finally they get a bit of joy, Parramatta. I thought they went the wrong way at first. They only had 3 players on the other side of the field, but then this time they come to the right. Good vision there by Mitch Moses to go through the hands. They had a 4-on-3, good skill. And then it was a nice little bit of footwork there from Jordan Semrani to come back infield. But I think he's injured himself when he's done it as well. He passed the ball straight away, and then Talon De Silva, the man, pushing up in support, and he scores a simple try. And good work there by Parramatta. They need to get some points by the Dragons were down 1 player. They finally got it right.
And they are for another 2.5 minutes. John Gibbs, it happened in front of you on the touchline.
Yeah, and the drama there is that injury to Jordan Semrani, because he stepped in field and it was one of those non-contact ones, and you always have worries about that. And he is moving very, very gingerly, so I'm not quite sure what the outcome is going to be with Jordan Samrani. He goes to the huddle, but they needed that because nothing really was happening. He ran the ball, Mitch Moses. Good work by Samrani. Good backing up by Talon De Silva, who's been on the field for a matter of minutes. But this is an important shot of goal.
And they've already used 4 replacements. They did lose Hopgood, though, to an active foul play. Here's Moses, 20 out, 13 in from touch, western side. Moves in with the right boot. Moses strikes it, likes it, kicks the goal. He's 2 out of 2. It's a 2-point ball game. St George Illawarra 14, Parramatta 12 with 4 minutes 11 to go. I'd imagine with Samrani, who's getting treatment back on halfway, they'll try and keep him out there to half time, Louis, with 4 minutes left, although that can be a dangerous policy too.
Yeah, he's jogging on it all right at the moment, so I'm pretty sure he'll be okay. It might have just been that one. You know, we just step and you sort of roll your ankle a little bit, gets a bit sore, and then it sort of goes away.
That's when getting out of bed, Louis.
Yeah, well, they're getting out of the car at the moment.
Yeah, mate, your legs both weigh 47 kilos. New South Wales Cup full time. Penrith has beaten the Roosters 38-12. Queensland Cup second half. North Devils 16 lead South Logan 12. First half, Ipswich 24 lead the Brisbane Tigers 0. First half, Dolphins 14 leading Winner Manly 4. Third quarter AFL, Port Adelaide 74 leading Essendon 30. A-League men, Sydney FC has scored in the second half. They're 1-1 at home to the Newcastle Jets. A-League women first half, Melbourne City away, leading the Wanderers 1-0. And full time in the netball, the Melbourne Vixens comfortably over the Giants 68-52. New South Wales at home, they play the Melbourne Mavericks next. Here's the Eels, 24 out from their own line, trailing by 2. De Silva, right to left, Dury. Linked up now with support, and the tackle made on Williams, about 10 short of halfway. Played De Silva, scoots out of dummy half, beats one tackle, claimed over the top by Kerr, 5 metres inside St George Illawarra territory. Parramatta, this is as sharp as they've looked all day. Comes to the right to Moses, out the back, he links up Dury, questionable pass, good hands by Tuilangi, then he gets a wraparound ball, back to support, and Tuivasa is tackled, 27 out from the line. Tuivasa plays it, short side right on the last. Moses, crossfield kick, it's Gutherson, up he goes with a great catch, and he caught one whilst he was in, no, it's the other way, it's a penalty going against St George Illawarra. He fooled me, Ashwan. I thought his arm went up towards the Dragons, but it is a penalty to Parramatta, their first of the game, with contact off the ball, and it's going to be a penalty.
Yeah, it was Flanagan.
It was too.
He just runs out, takes Xiaomi off the opportunity to get up and compete for that ball. Silly play, 30 seconds to go.
Especially great catch there by Gutherson.
When I say 30 seconds to go, it's 30 seconds. Well, it's now down to 15 seconds before they get their couchman back on the field.
Now down to 10. And they take the tap. They could have been a 14-all. They're down 14-12. Tuivasa scored 2 metres out. That's where they've got the numbers. De Silva goes that way to Williams, but he comes back on the inside, and Parramatta still 3 metres out from the goal line. Couchman back from the bin. That's Ryan Couchman. Set restart for Parramatta. They're 6. They spread it right. Parramatta to Isaiah Yongi off a flat-footed start. He scored 10 out from his own line. 2 minutes left in the first half. Ball played to Silva. Goes left to Moses, then away to Hopgood, rather to Williams. He linked up with support, and the tackle is made on Dury. Now it comes left. Kitione Kautonga strolls through the defence to score. 1 minute 50 to go on the half, and Parramatta's in front. Parramatta 16, St George Illawarra 14. They didn't worry about the 2 points. They traded in for 4, if not 6, with just over 90 seconds to go. Eels 16, Dragons 14. The try to Kitione Kautonga.
Yeah, well, they had to go left. They were screaming left to go there 3 or 4 times. That set, but they just couldn't get the ball there. And then finally, when Couchman actually comes back on the field and it's 13v13, Parramatta get it right. And a couple of little nice shifts, nice passes, but it was the quick play the ball here from Parramatta that creates that opportunity. Then there's only 2 players, and then Kitione Kautonga, he just gets the ball on a little bit of an overs line, one-on-one outside shoulder, and goes over pretty much untouched. Too easy for Parramatta.
That is the 3rd try scored by a second row today, Lewis.
1 more to go.
Down to the touchline, Gibbsy.
And it's all been very good edge running, beautiful running there. He's looked very dangerous. Kitione Kautonga all game. Kilmalangi had the great game on the edge last week, but that was just beautiful play, went straight through. Now there has been drama. Jordan Samrani, he's no good. Now he's been in a lot of pain. He's still on the field. You see him under there now. He's limping off.
Oh, yeah.
And I have fears that this will be an ACL injury. The way it happened, it was non-contact. He just stepped on the inside. He wasn't hitting, no one was hitting or anything. He just put his leg down, and as he gave the pass to the player who scored the try, he was obviously in distress, and he tried to battle on, but unfortunately now he's limping off the field. So that is a massive drama, but well done to Parramatta.
Here's Moses, 19 out, 12 in from the eastern touchline. Mitch strikes it, likes it, kicks the goal. He's 3 out of 3, and it's now Parramatta 18, St George Illawarra 14, 17 seconds left. I think if you're a Dragons fan, Louis, you're like, what the heck's happened? 4 minutes ago we're in front.
Well, to be fair, the Dragons have been dominating this whole half.
Yes.
And this is exactly what Parramatta did against the Broncos.
And this is exactly what the Dragons do almost every week.
Every week. They look good, they do a good thing, they get in front, and then all of a sudden a couple of little lapses in play, and then the opposition team's in front. Parramatta did this last week. They had the confidence, they knew the points weren't that far to come back from, and they're doing a good job now. Back in front, 18, 14, 17 seconds left.
Why, Delilah? Charlie Guymer comes onto the field for Parramatta with 13 seconds left in the half. Kickoff is fielded in goal by Iongi. He gets it away left to Sam Tuivati, and he's tackled on his own 10-metre line by Leilua. Plays the ball to Silva, goes... But now the crowd here of about 23,000 have something to cheer about. Parramatta 18 leads St George Illawarra 14, 3 tries to 2 for the Eels. A penalty try awarded to Jonah Pezzett in the 11th minute. That was a Jaden Seward tackle off the ball. Talon De Silva scored in the 35th minute, and Kitione Kautonga in the 39th. Mitch Moses, 3 goals from 3 attempts, 6 restarts. For St George Illawarra, try to Luciano Leilua in the 13th minute, Jaden Sewer in the 24th, Val Holmes 3 from 3, Ryan Couchman sin binned and put on report in the 28th minute for a hip drop on Jermaine Hopgood, who's left the field with a knee injury. 1 successful challenge, 1 restart, but Hopgood gone with a knee injury in the 28th, and a knee injury for Jordan Samrani leaving the field just before half time. So we've seen Hopgood, Tuivati, Dury, De Silva, and now Charlie Guymer on the field for the Parramatta Eels. Penalties 2-1 to the Dragons, but Louis, it's Parramatta in front of the break, 18-14.
Yeah, well, Parramatta loved the last 7 minutes of the first half. The last week and now this week is about the 6 or 7 minute mark where they turned the game as well. They got some points on the board, and they finally went at half time with the scoreline in their favour. But the Dragons, they were disappointed. They played probably 34 minutes roughly where they dominated the field. With 1 player down, they were looking really good. They were doing all the right things. And then Val Holmes, that pass, sort of put them on the back foot. And then from there, it was sort of all downhill for them. So, yeah, it's a weird game of footy, but Parramatta in front purely just because they executed in the last couple of minutes of that half.
John Gibbs, your summation, please.
Yeah, that was a great comeback there, no doubt, by Parramatta. And look, they were battling on manfully when Ryan Couchman was in the sin bin. And then they decided to run the ball. A little bit of Mitch Moses magic set things up. They've lost Samrani. I want to tell you, you talk about morsels, Andrew. What about last week down at Illawarra? It was 18-14 at half time. The Dragons were trailing Melbourne, and that's because Harry Grant scored right on the stroke of half time. In this game here, Kitione Kautonga scores right on the stroke of half time. It's 18-14. Will history repeat itself?
Well, if it does, it means the Dragons will score first in the second half.
Yes, and lead 20-18.
And then Melbourne, and then Parramatta will come back and put a score in the last 15.
Around the grounds, Queensland Cup, North Devils 16, lead South Logan 12. Ipswich at halftime, 24 points to 6 over the Brisbane Tigers. And at halftime, Dolphins 24, leading Winner Manly 4. Third quarter AFL, that's as good as over. Port Adelaide 80, leading Essendon 30. Newcastle Jets have scored. A-League men's second half, Newcastle 2, Sydney FC 1. In the women's halftime, Melbourne City 2, leading Western Sydney 0, and that's the latest around the grounds. Half-time, it is 18-14. Parramatta leading St George Illawarra. Back with more after the ABC News.
This is ABC News with David Rowlands. Saudi Arabia says its air defences have tracked the launch of 3 ballistic missiles towards its capital Riyadh as Iran continues to fire drones and missiles at its Gulf Arab neighbours. With the war launched by Israel and the US now in its 4th week, the Saudi Defence Ministry says 1 missile was intercepted while the other 2 fell in an uninhabited area. The ministry also says air defences downed 6 drones headed towards the kingdom's eastern region, one of its least densely populated areas and home to major oil installations, with no casualties or damage reported. The British military, meanwhile, says a projectile has struck close to a bulk carrier off the coast of the United Arab Emirates, causing an explosion. Israel's Prime Minister says his country is determined to continue striking out enemies on all fronts after an Iranian attack near Israel's nuclear research centre. More from Eliza Getzi.
Iran has struck the southern cities of Dimona and Arad in the sparsely populated Negev desert, leaving buildings shattered and more than 70 people injured hours after US-Israeli strikes reportedly hit Tehran's main nuclear enrichment site in Natanz. Iran had previously threatened to target Israel's nuclear program in response to the Natanz strike. Israel's military says it wasn't able to intercept the missiles and it's investigating why. It marks an escalation in the war, which is now in its 4th week, the first time Israel's nuclear research centre has been targeted. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has called it a very difficult evening in the battle for Israel's future.
The World Health Organization says at least 64 people, including 13 children, have been killed in a strike on a hospital in Sudan's East Darfur state. Sudan's army and its civil war foe, the Rapid Support Forces, are blaming each other for a strike, as the BBC's Yosef Taha reports.
This strike has been blamed by the paramilitary Rapid Support Force on the National Army. They say that the army had used a drone to hit the hospital. However, actually, this is not the first time to hit the hospital in Dain. It's the 3rd time, but this, of course, is the most devastating because it has killed so many people and put the hospital out of action completely. The National Army had issued a statement in response dismissing the allegations and saying actually such attacks were carried out by the paramilitary.
The South Australian Greens have criticised the Liberals for preferencing One Nation, as Pauline Hanson's party looks set to enter South Australia's lower house for the first time. The Greens have about 11% of the primary vote, with the count still underway following yesterday's election. Labor has won at least 32 lower house seats, while the Liberals have secured just 4 so far. No seats have been confirmed for One Nation yet, but the party is currently ahead in a handful of electorates. SA Greens leader Robert Sims says it's the fault of the major parties for building an economy that leaves ordinary people to compete for the scraps and blame them for not holding One Nation accountable.
We didn't see the lies and misinformation of the One Nation party being tackled by Labor or the Liberals. They were able to get through this election campaign without any scrutiny.
A Queensland child has become the first in Australia to be given the flu vaccine via a nasal spray. The 5-year-old today received the Flu Mist spray instead of a needle, which kickstarted the state's $31 million rollout of the winter's flu vaccination program. Health Minister Tim Nicholls says the UK saw a massive jump in the number of 2 to 5-year-olds being vaccinated after introducing Flu Mist.
Parental distress about their children's distress is also one of the factors that leads to fewer people seeking the flu vaccine via the traditional delivery method, and that's one of the reasons why we were guided to use the Flu Mist.
Staying in Queensland, where the Ethical Standards Command is investigating after a man was shot by police at Logan, south of Brisbane. Chelsea Malunga reports.
Emergency services were called to Ewing Road near Carmody Street at Logan Central last night, following reports of a man armed with a knife making threats. Police say officers tried to negotiate with the man, aged in his 30s, before he approached them holding the knife and was shot in the abdomen. He was taken to Brisbane's Princess Alexandra Hospital, where he remains in a stable condition. No police officers or members of the public were hurt during the incident. A crime scene has been declared and investigations are ongoing.
And more than 500 passengers on trains running between Sydney and Melbourne are facing travel disruption due to heavy rain. The Australian Rail Track Corporation is working on repairs to tracks in southern New South Wales, with passengers diverted to regional coach services. This is ABC News.
There's no doubt that country music is bigger than ever right now. Join me, Outback Tom, as I get you around the artists that are blazing a trail. Listen to Country Club, Sunday night at 6 on ABC Country, or anytime you like on the ABC Listen app.
ABC sports coverage of the 2026 NRL Premiership.
Meter out from the line in front of the right upright. Plays the ball to Cook. He goes left away. Flanagan turns it into Leilua. He runs through half a gap, beats a tackle. He's over to score. He got straight through Jack Williams, trying to Luciano Leilua. It's right between the posts, and in the 13th minute, they hit back the Dragons straight away. It's now 6-all. Parramatta and St George Illawarra kick to come. Now St George Illawarra up the middle to within 9 metres of the goal line. Toby Couchman plays the ball to Damien Cook, sends it away right to Atkinson. Short ball to Suar. He is straight through to score an easy try. De Silva goes right to a running Mitch Moses, links up out the back to Ilangi, away to Simrani, steps straight past Kerr, got it away to Peasant, he links up with De Silva and he's over to score. Great try, Parramatta. Set restart for Parramatta, they're 6. They spread it right, Parramatta to Isaiah Yongi off a flat-footed start. He scored 10 out from his own line. 2 minutes left in the first half. Ball played to Silva, goes left to Moses, then away to Hopgood, rather to Williams. He linked up with support, and the tackle is made on Dury. Now it comes left. Kitione Kautonga strolls through to the fence to score. 1 minute 50 to go on the half, and Parramatta's in front.
ABC sports coverage of the 2026 NRL Premiership.
On your radio, ABC Sport Digital Radio,
And ABC Listen.
It is 18-14 at half-time. Parramatta leading St George Illawarra. Let's go around the grounds and set the scene at Townsville Stadium. Great to have the crew back together. Quentin Hull has made his way there with Grant Bell and Laurie Spooner. G'day, Q.
G'day, Andrew. It's great to be here in Townsville, and the regular humidity that smacks us this time of the year in this part of the country, that's not around today. We've got high cloud. It is sticky, but certainly not as thick as we could expect. So I think the conditions for footy are going to be good, but boy, hasn't the intensity been turned up to 11 already for these two clubs. I think there's still a bit of wriggle room for Josh Hannay, certainly early in his tenure for the Gold Coast Titans, who were thumped by Cronulla first up and were pretty good against the Dolphins before giving up a big lead to Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow and friends at Lang Park last week. So their 0-2 probably doesn't have the same kind of pressure as the Cowboys 0-2, beaten by the Knights in Vegas and then coming back to Australia and going to Leichhardt, and had 44 put on them by the West's Tigers last week. Huge pressure for North Queensland. We're still waiting for the final teams to come through from the Cowboys, but Josh Hannay was happy enough to tell us yesterday that Jaden Campbell is back from a hamstring injury and will start at halfback for the Titans, which is great news for the visitors. North Queensland, as I welcome Grant Bell, the inaugural coach of the club. Great to have him suiting up, as you said, Andrew, for another year here. Well, you can tell me, the pressure valve sort of eased because the season finished for Todd Payten, but 2 weeks in, boy, the heat's on once more. How are you? Yeah. Welcome back.
Yeah, it's great to be back. Great to be back with some footy at home, and certainly they had all their the jaunt over to Las Vegas and such. But I think everybody will be happy to see them back at home. And as you say, they really have not found themselves at the start of the season in any way a better shape. And for me, the indicators are around defence. And I don't think the indicators in defence show them to have something that has changed significantly from last year. And you compare them to the Titans, you talk about the Titans. One of the things that's impressed me about the Titans, regardless of the results, has been the numbers of players that are chasing in defence, the number of players that are trying to shut down on a shift, the number of players that are working. And I don't see that as much with the Cowboys. Let's hope that we see a turnaround for them, and I think we then get a good game and a good Queensland contingent as we want throughout the season. But they've got some work to do. I thought their halves were probably the pick of them. Jake Clifford, I think, played some of his best footy. Particularly even in both games. His kicking game's been much better, but they've been very stiff. Their plays are still out the back. Tommy Dearden remains their biggest threat. and he really does that. I would love to see Reid Marnie do a little bit more of what he was bought for, and that's getting up out of dummy half, running from dummy half, creating some havoc there. That will take pressure off. Certainly the halves, but then in turn the shifts. And in the forwards, I think that certainly Griffin Neame, I think, has been the pick of them. Jace Tambalolo's been good, and Cohen Hess, I think, is in the mix as well.
Well, obviously Marnie's got a bit more time to get used to his new club, but there's been pressure on Todd Payton, so it seems, for the last season and a half, and hasn't it been ramped up with an 0-2 start to the season? And it's not just the way they're not just 0-2, but to two teams that have been battling teams of recent times, and the Knights and the Tigers.
Yeah,
so.
Plenty of people would have had them in the bottom four.
Yeah. So Peter Goff's going to be the referee. Liam Kennedy is in the bunker. High cloud, but not too humid. I reckon we'll have pretty good conditions for the final game of round 3, which follows your game at Western Sydney Stadium.
Beauty, thanks Q. Lovely to hear your voice again, Belly. And Laurie will be down on the touchline. Teams back here for the second half. For 18-14 Parramatta, you may have heard us promoting the fact that ABC Rapid. How do you find ABC Rapid?
It's really easy, Andrew. Just go onto the ABC Listen app.
Yes.
Go down to the little bottom right corner. It's got the little search thing. And
yes.
just type in Rapid, and there it is.
See,
that's how easy it is.
On the app?
So you go on the app,
yes.
Open it up,
yes.
And down in the little bottom right-hand corner, you'll see like a little search bar.
Yep.
Just click it, and it'll come up, and just type in RAP, and it automatically comes up. You don't even have to install the whole world.
Well, we can probably see what the delay is now. We get it up live. Here's the kickoff from St George Illawarra, meanwhile. And Parramatta brings it back until Vardy's tackled 13 metres out from his own line. Of course, I'm not getting any service at the moment.
It's got to take the Wi-Fi off.
Oh, dear. Here's the Eels now outside their 20-metre line. And the scoreline 18-14 to Parramatta. Now they come left edge. There's a good, strong run. Getting to within 12 metres of halfway from Matt Dury. Plays it and it comes centre field right to Jack Williams. He's caught just short of halfway. You're with Luke Lewis, John Gibbs. I'm Andrew Moore on NRL Sunday. Now it's Iongi, good run. Caught 10 metres in Dragons territory. Played to Talon de Silva. Goes right now to Mitch Moses. A high kick to the northwest corner. And down there is 2. And the ball ends up being loose. It's tapped by Shane Russell back to himself. Still the last. He's wrapped up there by the defence of Setu 2 and one other Val Holmes. Change over. Dragons have it. 15 metres out from their own goal line. Well, let me try this again, Louis. So I go search, Rapid. This is, so you can listen, ABC Sport Rapid. You click on that, play live. Let's see how far behind we are. Apparently it's very close now to the streaming services. This is perfect to watch it and listen at the same time. It's not letting me play it. Anyway, all good plans. Here's the Dragons with the footy.
But very easy to find.
They go left, you can find. Anyone can have an ABC Rapid, but no, we can't get it to work. Here's the Dragons, 12 metres in Parramatta territory. Leilua plays the ball to Cook. Goes right, the kick from Atkinson from 43 metres out. Down to the southwest corner into the shadows. Taken by Iongi. 5 out from his own line. Dummies to Addo-Carr. Takes the tackle of Suar. 9 out from his own line. 2 gone second half. Eels 18, Dragons 14.
Yeah, well, I really like the way Parramatta come out and started. They made some good metres. They got a good kick. They got an opportunity there, but just didn't get the set restart. But the Dragons did return serve and went 90 metres on that set.
So now Parramatta, good run by Simonson. Nearly split them. 25 out from his own line. Quickly played to Silver at a dummy half over the 30. I thought he found the marker offside. Not so, says referee Klein. Now Addo-Carr at a dummy half. Put a fend on Leilua. Left foot step over the 40. Taken by Atkinson and Suar. 5 short of halfway. Last tackle. Played to De Silva. Goes right to Moses. Dummy the kick. Got away from 1. Kerr now puts an end over and kick down to the right wing of 2. He catches it and then he's taken instantly there by Tuivasa. 19 out from the Dragons line. Gutherson goes left to Val Holmes. Centre of the ground. He's caught 28 out from his own line. Almost 3 gone second half. Parramatta 18, St George Illawarra 14. We check in downstairs. Johnny Gibbs.
Well, he's been under a little bit of pressure, Setu 2, and for his third first grade game, he's doing a pretty good good job. And here's Couchman, or is it Stewart? They're like triplets. There's Couchman brothers and Hamish Stewart could be triplets. But just a report on Jordan Samrani, he won't be back, still being assessed. And Charlie Geimer, because of the foul play, he's the 5th interchange play that can be used by Parramatta.
Nice one, Gibbsy. You're right the first time, by the way. It was Ryan Couchman. And you're right with your second point. They are 3 twins out there. Triplets, as you say. Not 3 twins. I'm a goose. Parramatta inside their 20. Comes left away to Addo-Carr. Got through Daniel Atkinson. Then runs into Stewart. And he's caught 29 out from his own line. Parramatta up 18-14. To the right, Geimer. Hits it up into Ryan Couchman and Josh Kerr and Damien Cook, 14 short of halfway. Now to the left they work at Parramatta with a footy Russell. He's floored, 3 short of halfway. 18-14 Eels lead. Nearly 4 gone second half. Now Jack Williams, a good strong run up the middle. Gets 9 metres in Dragons territory, and you sense Parramatta starting best in this second half. De Silva on the last. Goes right to Moses. The kick from 42 metres out. Challenging here for 2 as Kautonga, I thought, bumped into Daniel Atkinson, but no, the other way round. It is a penalty to Parramatta. The penalty's now 2 apiece, and this goes to the Eels in goal-kicking range with a current 4-point lead, 18 out, 14 in from touch on the western side.
Well, this time it was Daniel Atkinson who's not really holding his ground. He just sort of moves to his left and then steps back, gets in front of Kautonga, and that's why they got the penalty, but they don't opt to take the 2, Andrew. They're on the way.
Oh, that's dumb. It just seems a dumb decision, but last time they did it, they scored, so they might put egg all over our face. Here's Dury on the charge. On play 2. Tackle 5 metres out from the Dragons line. Parramatta 18, St George Illawarra 14. It comes to the left to Jack Williams. Held on desperately by the defence, headed by Kerr and Leilua. Now De Silva. Burrows gets there, scores. Egg on face. They didn't need the 2, they get the 4. Right next to the post again. 5 gone second half. Parramatta 22. St George Illawarra 14 with a kick to come. And that is 3 tries in 10 football minutes. A double to Talon De Silva. And it's now the lead extended to 22 points to 14. Parramatta over the Dragons, Luke Lewis.
Well, this is just too easy for Talon De Silva. They get a really good opportunity. I'm with you. I thought they probably should have took the 2 this early into the second half. Usually most teams are pretty fresh to defend the set, but they get really close to the line. Talon De Silva looks one way, comes back out the other, ducks down nice and low, and slips over for a second try. So he's had a big game this afternoon, scored 2 tries. As soon as he come on the field for his first, it's only his first or second touch, and here he is now going over right next to the right upright.
This could be the best I've ever seen him play. Touchline, John Gibbs.
Yeah, good work done by Talon De Silva. He's scoring him rapid fire now, but that was a good decision there by Parramatta to go for the try. They did it successfully in the first half. I can't quite understand it, but obviously they're seeing things, and it's up to them to control the ball, not drop it, and score. And you can't knock try-scoring situations like that. They've done it twice in a row, and it's given themselves now a very nice buffer.
Getting some very funny responses here to ABC Rapid on the text line. Here's Moses right in front, and he kicks the goal. He's 4 out of 4, and now it's Parramatta by 10. Eels 24, St George Illawarra 14. On the text line, which is 0467 920 222, Peter at Coffs Harbour, 10-second delay on Rapid compared with live FM broadcast. Tried it, got AFL Rapid, Louis, says Mitch. G'day, boys, and many happy returns for tomorrow, Andrew. I've got ABC Rapid on my phone and the visual on my pay TV app at the same time. Now you are no longer a minute or more behind, but about 30 seconds ahead of the TV coverage from Fitzy. Just checked out ABC Rapid, and Jonty was talking rapidly and fast forward, says Filthy. Love ABC Rapid, hallelujah. I can turn the TV down, says Ted, as Parramatta from the kickoff 16 out from their own line. How good is Rapid? Literally an 8-second delay, which works a treat with the stream and other telly services. More reason to love Grandstand from Andrew at Hurstville. And Rapid is faster than the other app. So thank you for the reaction. It's nice to know how it's working for you, even if it didn't work for us out here. 32 out from the Parramatta line, the Eels. Ball played to De Silva. He sends it left to Dury. Tackled 9 short of halfway. 7 gone second half. Parramatta 24, St George Illawarra 14. Left edge for Williams. Knocked to the ground by Suar. Played on the last quickly to De Silva. Chip and chased by Moses. Ran into the back of Damien Cook. And Gutherson knocked it on. The crowd loved that. Charlie Guyman just dived on the bouncing ball, but he's going to play the knock on both ways, and it's going to be a Parramatta scrum feed, 24 out from the Dragons line. There's still over 32 minutes to go, Louis, but this is falling apart quickly for the Dragons.
Yeah, very quickly for the Dragons. A nice little bit of vision there from Mitch Moses. He didn't get the kick right. He didn't get a really nice run at it, but it was Talon De Silva who comes up with a bit of a play that it competes on the play. He gets into Clint Gutherson, who comes up the error and gets the ball back for Parramatta. That's brilliant work from Talon De Silva once again.
Here's a scrum fed and won by Parramatta. De Silva goes right, Moses to Guymer, and Charlie's tackled, 22 out from the line, 18 in for touch, eastern side, Para the chant. It comes left now to Sam Tuivasa, who's been terrific off the bench, caught 11 out from the goal line by Ryan Couchman. De Silva fires it left to Pezza to Moses, then turns it in, they've lost it, Kautonga went without it and knocked it on. Oh, maybe that's what St George Illawarra needed. It will be a scrum feed for the Dragons. 11 metres out from their own line, and they need a good set here just to re-establish terra firma, I would suggest. Around the grounds, Queensland Cup full time, and it's ended up a 24-all draw between North Devils and Souths Logan. Ipswich Jets at half-time, leading the Brisbane Tigers 30 points to 6. The Dolphins 30, leading Wynnum Manly 10 into the second half, and PNG Hunters leading the Clydesdales 12-4 in the first half. Three-quarter time in the AFL, Port Adelaide 100, leading Essendon 38. Dragons get the ball from a scrum win, and now penalty inside the 10 going against Parramatta. The Dragons' third penalty awarded to them, and it's 27 out from their own goal line. So good result for the Dragons from the Kautonga drop ball. A-League Women's second half, Melbourne City 2 leading the Wanderers 1. Super Netball quarter time, Melbourne Mavericks 22 leading the Swifts 16. That's from the tap. Dragons 8 metres now into Parramatta territory, down by 10. They lure plays it, it comes open side right. They get to within 35 metres of the goal line. Oh, it's come on. ABC Rapids, come on. Sorry, Den Dog, I couldn't hear it with the headphones on. I'll turn it off. 30 out from the Parramatta line. I'm already getting a headache from ABC Rapid. Comes out from Flanagan. Goes left play, Lua beats one. And he's near the touch line. He stays in despite the efforts, particularly of Guymer. Plays it now to Tua Pilotu. Goes open side, left to right, Flanagan. Atkinson out the back. Knock on there by Daniel Atkinson. He got the pass from Couchman and down it went. Gee, that's a costly blunder by the Dragons. It means Parramatta gets a scrum feed. 23 out from their own line. 10 gone second half. Eels 24, Dragons 14 to the touchline. Gibbsy.
Well, Charlie Guymer is playing at that right centre position, so he came on as a straight replacement. That means they can use 5 interchanges, as I said. But Charlie Guymer is 19 games of first grade. This is the first time he's played in the centres. He's making a pretty good fist of it, but they're a bit skinny in the centres. Sam Rani gone. Benson is still being bothered by a groin problem, so they're a bit skinny in the centres.
So now the scrum as Parramatta with a ball on their own 30 to Silva, short side right to Simonson. He's come up with a couple of nice runs today. Tackled here by Leilua, 5 short of halfway, plays it. It comes open side left, Parramatta into Dragons territory where Tuivasi's tackled. Played now, it comes right to left again, through hands. Williams to Pezzett. Dummies goes himself, Jonah Pezzett. Tackled 37 away from the Dragons goal line. Dummy half is De Silva. Goes right, Dury away to Tuivasi. Tackled 27 away from the line. Last tackle Parramatta. De Silva spins it left to Pezzett. Deft kick over the top, but there to get the ball is Setu 2. And he's away from 1-2. Away from 2-2. Then the ball's lost and he tried to get it to Gutherson. Got the pass away and being thrashed to the ground to Silva. A metre away from a third try, Talon De Silva. He had done so well, Setu 2, until he threw the pass. Russell a metre out. Dummy half goes right. Addo-Carr to Pezzett. Then on to Tuivasi, and he's caught in centre field. 10 out from the St George Illawarra line. 28 minutes 15 to go. It's all Parra now, leading 24-14 as they attack the right edge and get within 4 metres of the goal line. It's played. They spin it left. Through hands. Moses. Pezzett. Flat ball. Kautonga. Sewer is there though with Ryan Couchman in defence. 8 metres away and Cook. Now played. Pezza dummy half. Runs around literally in circles. Gets it back to Riley Smith. He sends it right to Tuivati. And Smith pointed at it to run straight. And Sam obliges to within 4 of the line. Smith goes right now to Moses. Plays out to the back to Leongi. Puts in a stab kick for Simonson. But the Dragons dive on the ball. And then silly penalty. Sully dived on it as he was tackled and gets pushed in goal. And a penalty goes to St George Illawarra. Tell you what, Louis, the Dragons have actually done brilliantly well not to concede a try there. 24-14 in favour of the Eels with 27 and a half to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, they got lucky, I reckon, with Callum De Silva just making a little bit of a wrong decision just to run straight. All he had to do was come off his right foot a half a metre, and he was over the try line with about 3 metres to go before he went out. He would have scored a triple, but they didn't get that done. The Dragons had to scramble well. They did a good job to get down low and pull that ball in, and then Parramatta give away a penalty right on the line for Dragon, then back in goal.
Hamish Stewart plays it, 29 out from their own line. Comes right side, tackle made, 15 short of halfway. Yeah, it's played out. Comes to the right. Cook to Atkinson. Sends it back on the inside. 8 short of halfway. The Dragons trailing here by 10 points. Laurie plays it. It goes to the left. Flanagan. Short ball away to Stewart. He's tackled 5 metres in Parramatta's half, 15 in from the eastern touchline. Played to Cook. Goes right to Ryan Couchman. Show and go by Couchman. Threw a great pass out the back to Gutherson. He goes right to Atkinson. Cut out pass and Bell Holmes drops it again. Shane Russell comes away with it for Parramatta, 5 short of halfway. He's not having a good day, Val Holmes. Comes to the right, Addo-Carr. Fends away from 2. Who comes back at him. 4 metres in Dragons territory. 24-14. Parramatta leads St George Illawarra. 14 gone second half. Now Riley Smith works it right to Kitione Kautonga. Cleaned up by Emre Gula back on the field with Ryan Couchman. 38 out from the goal line. Smith sends the ball right. Through hands. Williams, Moses, Iongi. Show and go by Isaiah into Flanagan and tackled. 20 metres out from the St George Illawarra line and 10 in from the eastern touchline. Sully there as well. Smith dummy half goes left to Moses. A long cut out pass away to Russell. Russell put the fend on and beat one Holmes. Now tackled 8 metres out from the line. Smith dummy half western side. Goes back open side right. Quick hands away from Pezzett. Links up with Tuivati. Tackle 4 out in front of the left upright at the northern end. Played on the last to Smith. Terrible pass for Duru. It was down around the ankles. He went without it. And the Dragons pick it up. 8 out from their own line. 24-14 to Para. 25 to go. Touchline and Johnny Gibbs.
Well, they've had a chance to put them to the sword. They've gone close, and now a penalty has gone to St George Illawarra. So again, they'll get out of trouble comfortably on the back of the penalty. They are hanging on by the skin of their teeth. Talon De Silva, when he nearly scored that third try, he was crunched in the tackle, crawled off the field. He was winded. He's going to be okay. But St George Illawarra just about could have been out of business, but Parramatta just can't quite nail them.
Yeah, I was wondering whether he's hurt, because they've looked 100 times better with De Silva on the field.
I was going to say, I'd be getting him straight back on.
Yeah, get your breath back and get on. Maybe go on to the ABC Rapid thing and get your breath back more quickly. Here's another penalty for a rake going to the Dragons. 6-2 the penalties to St George Illawarra, and there's a sin bin. And now there's a push and shove. Mitch Moses and Isaiah Iongi with Blake Laurie.
Who got Sippy?
I don't know yet. Stand by all cars. Gibbsy, did you see who he pointed at?
Not quite sure.
It was a good back chat, for sure.
No, I think maybe they took a quick tap and someone's interfered.
So he's reiterating the bin. Charlie Geimer. He's going off. Offside from a quick tap. So we'll put that down as a professional foul. And Parramatta's imploding a little bit here. They've had the chances, Gibbsy said, to put this away several times. And they're down to 12 men with a 10-point lead. 30 metres out, 15 in from the eastern touchline. Tap is taken, and it comes right to Blake Laurie. Caught 22 out. I'll tell you what, with all these chances, Saints barely hang on. If they score here, this will give them a huge lift as they go left edge, and Hamish Stewart's caught. 11 out from the line by Tuivati. Plays it to the right. Flanagan turns it in for Laurie. Laurie up the middle, caught. 7 away from the Parramatta line. 17 gone second half, and the scoreline 24-14 to Parramatta. But the Dragons on the attack. Inside ball to Emre Gula. On his back, courtesy of Riley Smith. 4 out from the line. Plays the ball. Jacob Little on the field. Goes to his left. Ryan Couchman to Flanagan. A perfect kick in goal. And diving on the ball is Moses Sully. The Dragons have scored against a 12-man Parramatta team, and Guyman's only been off for 9 minutes and 11 seconds. 16 minutes 40 gone. Parramatta 24, St George Illawarra 18. Luke Lewis, try to Sully.
Yeah, well, they make Parramatta pay straight away for a little bit of discipline there. They had a penalty. They didn't get back on side. They make the tackle. They get 10 in the bin. Then all of a sudden they shift to the right edge. They come back to the left. And Kyle Flanagan sums up the situation absolutely perfectly. You can see a fair bit of space. He knew he couldn't get the best pass out wide. So he did the next best thing and puts a nice little kick in and gets the weight absolutely perfect. And Moses Sully just comes through as easy as you like with no one around him and just puts it down two hands and gets the Dragons back into this game. 24-18, kick to come.
John Gibbs, what about the change in this over the last, 5 minutes?
Yeah, incredible. As you say, only 49 seconds in the bin for Charlie Guymer, and they execute that perfectly. It was a beautiful kick for Kyle Flanagan. Ran to the line, knew, as you say, Louis, he couldn't get the pass in, but he just steadied himself, put it beautifully in behind, and Moses Sully, he had about 10 metres start on everyone. He was on side. It was so well done, but there was a little bit of frustration because they realised that they should be further in front. Now a little bit of panic might set in.
So now the kick from Holmes, 24 out, 10 in from the eastern touchline with 22 minutes to go. 8 minutes left in the bin for Guymer. Holmes with the right boot. He strikes it, heading towards the post. He likes it. He's kicked the goal. He's 4 out of 4. Parramatta 24, St George Illawarra 20 here at Western Sydney Stadium. 18 gone second half. On the text line 0467 920 222. My husband loves listening to you guys. No biasness, and you call it like you said. I, for one, not as vocal with you guys on the TV commentators from Amanda. Boys sitting in Tokyo listening to the footy. Long year for Manly, I think. Loving the call from Macca at Forestville. Normally, good on you, Macca. Appreciate you listening to us. Just started using Rapid, you guys about 10 seconds in front of the TV. And Rocky says, to be honest, I've grown to enjoy the slight delay, boys. We can still have it. You don't need to use Rapid. You can just go on the app or whatever. The ABC Green Sport button from the kickoff. Blake Laurie put to the ground 18 out from his own line, and a reminder tomorrow night between 6:30 and 7:30 Australian Eastern Daylight Time, NRL Monday, and I'll be joined by co-host Michael Carianis tomorrow. Here's Ryan Couchman. He dummies, shows himself good step. Tackled 11 short of halfway. Eels down to 12 men for another 7.5 minutes. Comes right to Emre Gula. Steamrolls into Barlaw and Smith. Got straight through to Avati, and he's still going. Held is the call. 8 metres in Parramatta territory. Played the Little, short ball right, Suar. Great tackle by Kautonga. 32 out from the line, Little on the last. Short side right. The kick from Atkinson to the southwest corner, about 10 out. Up goes Isaiah Iongi with a great catch. And he's going to be taken by 4 Dragons, 12 out from his own line. 21 left, 24-20 Eels lead Dragons. And this game, you sense, Lou, is going to go up a notch in the final quarter of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. You can really feel the energy lifting by both sides. You can see Parramatta, the fatigue has kicked in a little bit because they've got to work a little bit harder. But the Dragons have definitely got a little bit of wind under their sail. I reckon I'd be getting Dylan Walker on as quick as possible because they need to get some leg speed out in the middle of the field.
Here's Simonson in the middle of the park. Caught 25 out from his own line. Smith sends it left, pes it away to Kautonga, who slipped as he caught the footy and got still with the ball away in the tackle to Riley Smith away to Peasant. Peasant a one-handed touched in flight by Little, who dives on the ball, but it is a knock-on. And it will be a Parramatta feed, 35 out from their own line. Scoreline 24-20, Parramatta over St George Illawarra around the grounds. Queensland Cup, Ipswich 40, thrashing the Brisbane Tigers 6. Dolphins 30, leading Winner Manly 16. PNG Hunters 18, leading the Clydesdales 4. Final quarter AFL, Port Adelaide 118, leading Essendon 38. And also in the A-League Women, second half, Melbourne City 2, leading the Wanderers 1. And in the netball, second quarter, Melbourne Mavericks 31 to the Swifts of New South Wales 25. So a Parramatta player is coming from the field, Johnny Gibbs. I'm assuming that's an HIA, but I'm not entirely sure. Did you?
Yeah, Sam Tuivasa. And he did that when he got run over before. And as a result, Dylan Walker is on the field. And Louis, I know you said he needs leg speed. They started the game with him. This is his go, Dylan Walker, coming on as a replacement.
20 minutes gone, 20 minutes left, second half. Parramatta 24, St George Illawarra 20 is now in play 2. The Eels send it to the left, and it's Addo-Carr, tackled 9 metres short of halfway. Ball's played and it comes to the left. Through hands away now to Kautonga, straight through Val Holmes. Comes back at him with support from Suar. 9 metres in St George Illawarra territory. The crowd 25,573. As now they're 32 metres out. 25,573. Outstanding. Now 18 out from the goal line. The Eels up by 4. Last tackle. Smith goes left to Peasant. He waits, puts in a little kick. Russell flying through. 2 got there, went off his body, and he gets it in the end goal area near the dead ball line and returns it within a metre of the Riley Smith tackle. Goal line dropout. St George Illawarra, Parramatta 24, Dragons 2019 left.
One thing I liked about that set from Parramatta was Dylan Walker touched the ball 3 times. He come out to the left edge, got the ball. He was setting up plays on the right side, and he come up with a couple of nice little inside passes. That's how he's got to play now. The next 18 minutes, he's just got to be asking questions with ball in hand.
So the line dropout bounces to halfway. And Moses sends it left to Junior Barlaw, crashes into Little and Laurie, 37 away from the line. A reminder up next, for most of you listening, it'll be North Queensland Cowboys hosting the Gold Coast. You'll hear it with Quentin Hull, Grant Bell and Laurie Spina. Eels 29 out, ball played by Walker to Smith, goes right to Moses and links up with support out wide Dury. 4 minutes left with Charlie Guyman in the bin for Parramatta. The Eels are 22 out as Williams plays it to Smith, goes left to Moses, turns it into Barlaw, tackled immediately by Little, and he goes without it. Scooped up by Gutherson. Long ball left to Sully. Steps past one. Runs over the top of Moses. Still going is Sully. It was Moses Sully over Mitchell Moses. Holy Moses. 3 short of halfway. Play to Gutherson. Goes right to Little. Links up with support as the tackle's made. A metre short of halfway on Daniel Atkinson. He's trying to get a penalty against Dylan Walker, but the referee didn't fall for it. Now Suar on the short side road, ran over the top of Peasant. Tackled 6 metres in. Parramatta's half by Russell. Rolled off him, played a Little. Open side left to Laurie up the centre of the ground into Walker and Kautonga and Barlaw. 32 out from the Parramatta line. 17 and a half remaining in this one. 24-20 to the Eels. Dragons attack. Atkinson short ball, short side right to Suar. 2-handed pass and the tackle to Atkinson. Shrugs away from Walker. Long pass left. They've got numbers. Flanagan to Gutherson, but he came back inside. Beats one, back to Flanagan. Caught 4 metres out by Williams. Plays the ball Little, goes right to Gula. Gula met in a solid tackle. Throws it over the top, Gutherson. Ball knocked down by Peasant, knock on Parramatta. This is thrilling stuff. Eels 24, Dragons 20. It'll be a Dragon scrum feed, 10 out from the Parramatta line. Still, the Eels down to 12 men for another 2.5 minutes, Luke Lewis.
Yeah, you got to love that. I was just watching Clint Gutherson, just indicated his finger is out. He was calling for it, but the ball come to him, so he still caught the ball and got the pass on.
How?
Brilliant to see.
How do you do that?
Just playing through it. Good on him.
Oh.
Hurry up! Let's go!
Here's the scrum feed for the Dragons.
It was so funny too. You could see him hold it up and the ball come to him.
They win the scrum. Your sense of humour can be described this way. Weird. Now the tackle made on Chupalotu. 3 out from the line on play 1. Shrugs away. Plays it to Little. Comes to the right now to Flanagan and turns it into Ryan Couchman. Couchman runs headlong into the defence of Iongi. 8 metres out from the line. Dragons down by 4 on the attack. Little sends the ball left. Stewart crunch to the ground. 4 out from the goal line. The crowd love that. Now played to Little again. Sends it open side right. Flanagan away. Ryan Couchman out the back to Atkinson. Delayed cut out ball to Val Holmes. Holmes charges into Peasant. Tackle with Kautonga over the top. 10 out from the goal line. Played to Gutherson. Goes left to Atkinson. Long ball left now to Gula. They've got numbers. Why don't they pass it? The Dragons can't pass. Last tackle 5 metres out. They do get a penalty for a high tackle, but they had 4 on 3 to the left when Gula took the tackle. Penalties now 7-2 to the Dragons. This is 5 out, 20 in from the eastern touchline with 15 and a half to go.
You take the 2?
No. Tap taken. I'd give it to Blake Laurie. And they do, and he hits it up and caught 3 metres out. right next to the left upright. Ball played to Little, goes right, through hands now. Flanagan to Atkinson, stops, drops, straightens into Barlaw and Walker. 8 metres away from the Parramatta line. They're down to 12 men for another 1 minute. It's played to Little, goes left to Couchman, left foot step into Smith and others. He's standing in the tackle, backs his way into them. And Williams is there a metre away. Little goes to his right. Handing off from the inside, Flanagan for Su'A. Takes on Williams again. Smith comes across. Great run, Su'A. He's only a metre away. That's where he'll get up and play it with 2 tackles to go. Little sends the ball away left. Flanagan, cut out ball now to Sully. And a play hit the deck, so Sully just submits in the tackle 9 metres out. He's trying to work out where the sniper came from last tackle. Comes to the right. Crossfield kick Flanagan. Holmes flying through. He gets there first, but Barlaw's there. 3-4 Eels around him. Changeover. Parramatta survive. And Charlie Geimer returns at 13 on 13. Parramatta 24, Dragons 20, 14 to go. Touchline, Johnny Gibbs.
Well, it's a really brave defence there by Parramatta because St George Illawarra were trying everything they knew. But that all started with that incredible run by Moses Sully, as you said, Holy Moses, over the top of Mitchell Moses. But Mitchell Moses, how brave is he? He came up with a big try-saving tackle on Hamish Stewart. And you get a penalty 10 metres out, and who do you give it to? Blake Laurie. He scored 3 tries in 161 games.
Maybe he's due.
They don't play eyes-up football.
No.
They had an opportunity to go left. Moses Sully, one-on-one with 3 metres outside on Mitch Moses, and they didn't go to him once.
Here's Parramatta 2 metres in Dragons territory. I've got to say, though, I know this is imperfect, but I'm loving this. Mitch Moses, the kick from 49 metres out. Down to Tuipulotu. He takes it. Geimer, great chase, but he gets away from him and then flattened to the ground. 26 out from the line by Simonson. Plays the ball now. St George Illawarra with it. A long ball goes right away to Setu 2. He's caught on his own 30. Into dummy half Little. Short side right to Valentine Holmes. Steps into the defence there. Taken by Walker and Smith. 12 short of halfway. Plays the ball to Little. Goes right to left to Gula. Then to through hands. Flanagan, Gutherson, Sully. Sully's unstoppable at the moment. Stood in the tackle. Offloaded to Gutherson. And King Guffo straightens tackle 9 metres in Eels territory. Plays the ball now to Little. Here comes Setterfield right to Ryan Couchman. Couchman up the centre into Walker. And taken with help from Kautonga. Stands in the tackle. 27 out. Last play Dragons. Little goes right. Flanagan watches Atkinson with the kick. Down to the southwest corner. Up goes Iongi with the catch. 11 out from his own line. 12 minutes 15 to go. Parramatta 24, St George Illawarra 20 as now Russell crashes up into the defence. 17 out from the Eels line.
Well, I feel like the Dragons are really on top now. There's still 12 minutes to go. It's only 1 try the difference. And Parramatta are out in their feet at the moment. They're looking really, really tired. So they've got to dig deep here now. I don't know how many changes they've got left up their sleeve. But it looks like the Dragons are coming to get them.
But do they normally win or lose these games?
Lose.
24-20 Parramatta. Let's see if they can buck the trend. Smith 10 short of halfway. Fires it right to Moses. Puts boot the ball down to Gutherson. Waiting for it. 5 out from his own goal line. He heads up over the 10 towards the 20. And he's going to be caught. 26 out from his own line. Don't forget the text line 0467 920 222 when the footy's on as it comes to the right to Setu 2. He gets through 1, but he's held up now mid-quarter halfway. Now it comes to the left, away to Tuipulotu, in off the wing, Setterfield, taken on halfway by Geimer, played to Jacob Little, goes right to Emre Gula, he straightens into Kautonga and 2 others, including Walker and Williams. 40 out from the Eels line, Little, fires a deep pass left to Flanagan, back on the inside, Laurie, tackled 33 away, last tackled Dragons, Little comes to the right. And it's with Atkinson who puts up a rush kick down the throat of Addo-Carr. Takes it 6 out from his own line. Holmes leads the chase but missed him. So does Suar, and now he's put to the ground by Couchman, and also Holmes 11 out from his own line. Plays the ball to Pezzett, goes right to Yongi, got through Laurie, tackled 16 out from his own line. 10 and a half to go. Sunday footy here on ABC Sport, 24-20 to the Eels. You with Luke Lewis, John Gibbs, I'm Andrew Moore, and next it's Cowboys v Titans. What have you seen there, Louis?
Taylor De Silva's back on the field. That's a good sign for Parramatta.
Did you see the sign? I think it's the 7th interchange for Parra. Now they work it right to Matt Dury. Tackle 10, make it 11 short of halfway by Hamish Stewart. Smith to the right, Moses. Boot the ball from inside the 40. It's a deep kick. Bounces 8 metres out, but it's end over end. It'll go over the dead ball line. It does. Horrible result for Moses and Parramatta. 20-metre tap for the Dragons. 7 tackle set. Touchline John Gibbs.
Yeah, that's not a good result. A little bit unlucky there. It looked like it was going to be a good kick. This has been a really fascinating second half here, and the players are looking to catch their breath, but there's been some powerful play. It's been really good, and the big crowd is into it.
On the text line, Holy Moses, stop it, Andrew, you're on fire. I'm loving ABC, thank you. I'm loving ABC Rapid. It's so rapid, I've started listening to the Cowboys v Titans from Bulldog Day on. That is rapid. Here's the Dragons, 4 metres short of halfway. Trailing 24-20, still plenty of time, 9.5 to go. Crossfield Atkinson turns it in for Holmes. Great tackle, head on by Barlaw. 2 metres in Eels territory and 18 in for the Western touchline. Dummy half little, goes left to Stewart away. Through hands now, it comes from Leilua to Gutherson. Perfect pass to Imbalotto. Takes on Moses to round him up, ball and all. 11 out from the line. 3 in from touch, eastern side. Plays the ball to Gutherson. Comes to the right away now. Centre field. Leilua away. Atkinson a stab kick. Heading to the goal line. Yongi gets there. Tackled. Is he in the field of play? Gee, did well. He's about 2.5 millimetres into the field of play. Yongi plays the ball to Pezzett. Goes right to Simonson. He's caught 4 out from his own line. Addo-Carr in the collision with Yongi. It's helped to his feet. They spread it to the right of the Eels through Simonson. 3 plays in, a 10 out for their own line. This is gripping stuff.
They're going to be smart here, the Dragons. They can't afford to give away a penalty. They've got Parramatta locked in their own field. That means Mitch Moses has got to come up with a huge kick to get him out of trouble.
Tuolangi 18 out from his own line. Plays it. It comes left to Walker. Ryan Couchman is there with Suar. 24 out from the Eels line. Last tackle, centre field. Smith goes right. Moses from just outside his 20. Drills the kick. Gutherson runs in. Takes it on the full. 28 out from his own line. Heads over the 30. Heads over the 40 into Durian Tuolangi. 2 short of halfway. Field position. Advantage Dragons. Scoreboard. Advantage Eels. 24-20. Now Setu 2. In off the right wing. Tackled 3 metres in Parramatta's half by Barlaw. He plays the ball and it comes to the right to Valentine Holmes. Straightens into 3 defenders. 10 metres in Eels territory. Kautonga was there alongside Pezzett and Walker. Out of the left, Stewart away. Flanagan links up with Gutherson, then to Sully. Cuts back in field, although he had Chewy Pilotu to his left, and he's caught this time by Moses and Guymer. 19 out from the Parramatta line. They come to the right. Flanagan, open side right to Ryan Couchman. Fends away from Barlaw. Got it on to Atkinson. Cut out pass. Bell Holmes has dropped another one. Picked up by the Eels. Addo-Carr. He's away. Puts the glasses down. Horsey says, bye. Josh Addo-Carr, the box, streaks away to score after another error from Valentine Holmes. 6 minutes 55 to go. Parramatta 28, St George Illawarra 20 right against the run of play, Luke Lewis.
Yeah, well, look, the Dragons were coming to get him, but that play was made up there from Daniel Atkinson. He tried to throw a cutout pass, and then he second-guessed himself and tried to go to Valentine Holmes, and Bow couldn't get his hand to it. It was a horrible pass. It wasn't the best attempts at catches, and one thing you don't want to do when you've got someone in the opposition is drop the ball around someone with speed like Josh Addo-Carr. Great thinking, quick pass to Addo-Carr, and then he thought, do I go back in, or do I take Daniel Atkinson on the outside? And then he just pins the ears back, and he's, see you later, alligator. That's a great try there from Parramatta.
Yeah, he's always going to burn the halfback Atkinson. 28-20 it is to the Eels. Touchline John Gibbs.
Well, it was a really good pick-up actually by Sean Russell. He did a great job because when Val Holmes had knocked the ball down, from an ordinary pass from Daniel Atkinson. He was at full stretch. He picked it up. He then drew in Setu 2, who would come in to try and finish him off. And as he did that, he passed the ball deftly to Josh Addo-Carr. And Addo-Carr, he looked into the eyes of Daniel Atkinson. He thought, no, I've got you on the outside. He put on the afterburners, and it was shut the gate. And he's a try-scoring freak here, Josh Addo-Carr, because now that is 11 tries in 9 games against the Dragons, and it's in 21 games here at Western Sydney, 17 tries. What a try-scoring phenomenon he has been.
And his celebration, the roar of the crowd down at that northern end, sitting in the Peter Sterling stand. And it's 28-20 to the Eels with 5.5 to go. Moses lining up what should be a comfortable kick for him. 15 metres out and 5 metres to the left of the post. Tell you what's going to be happening in round 4 after this kick from Mitch Moses. To put the Eels out by 10. Moses has so far kicked 4 from 4. Here he comes now. Moves in with the right boot, strikes it, likes it, kicks the goal. His 5th in a row. And it's now Parramatta 30, St George Illawarra 20. So next week, we've got Thursday night footy on air from 7 on ABC Listen at Brookvale Oval. Manly Warringah against the Sydney Roosters. Friday night, the coverage begins online at 5:30 on the radio from 6 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. And myself, Louie and Gibbsy, will be calling in the boardroom. The game from Auckland, the Warriors against the West Tigers. Warriors looking to remain unbeaten. And then at 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock, Brisbane Broncos and the Dolphins at Lang Park. Then on Saturday, on air from 2 p.m. And I think we're at Western Sydney Stadium, aren't we, for Penrith and Parramatta at 5:30. The 3 o'clock game, Canterbury Bankstown against Newcastle at Stadium Australia. And at 7:35, North Queensland in Townsville against the Melbourne Storm. From the kickoff, it's Junior Barlaw. And he crashes into the defence, put down, 13 out from his own line. Next Sunday, myself, Louis, Gibbsy and Alan Tongue will be broadcasting at Canberra Stadium, 4-hour pre-game show. Then Canberra takes on Cronulla Sutherland, and at 6:15 or 5:15, Gold Coast at home at Robina Stadium against St George Illawarra. The Eels, though, have it here, 27 out from their own line, under 5 minutes to go. Riley Smith sends it left to Kautonga. And Laurie, one of 3 defenders there with Suar. And also Leilua, 11 short of halfway. Ball played, and it comes to the right to Dylan Walker. Looks like Jack Williams has come back on for Parramatta. Played to Smith on the last. Comes right to Moses. Kick downfield. Moses hits the deck in a collision. Taken by Gutherson, 8 out from his own goal line. They may only have 2 more sets here, the Dragons. Gutherson nearly got through, but he's taken 21 out from his own line. Plays the ball to Flanagan. Sends it right to Setu 2, and he's scored on his own 30.
I would love to see the Dragons score this set, just to go down the wire in the last couple of minutes, but they've got to score this set.
6 short of halfway. Holmes plays it to Little. Goes left to Gutherson. Cut out ball away to Leilua. And he's down 2 metres in Eels half, 6 metres in from the eastern touchline. Played to Sully. Comes to the right now to Flanagan. Away centre field to Stewart. Got the pass away to Atkinson. Cut out pass over the head of Russell. Bounces to Setu 2. Steps away from Addo-Carr into Russell. Addo-Carr comes back as well with Peasant, 39 out from the Parramatta line. But this is the last coming up now. Little goes left. Atkinson hurried into the kick by Riley Smith. And the kick down the throw to Biongi. Oh no, he lost it. The pressure came through from Flanagan. He puts it on the toe and scores. Referee Ashley Klein said, wait a second. Just wait a second. We're going to the bunker.
No try. We're starting the tackle count back to 0 for a knock-on to Parramatta first. Check for a double knock-on coming off Kyle's arm.
I don't think he knocked it on in the first view. We're watching it pretty closely there, but Gibbsy will probably have a better one.
When his kick chases on side.
Iongi did though, didn't he, for sure?
Iongi definitely did. First, then hits the
shoulder,
right arm of Kyle, which is also a knock-on.
That's a shoulder, not an arm.
What was that, Mark?
I think it's just below the point of the shoulder, which is a knock-on.
I'd call that the front deltoid, is what it did.
Oh, well, I call it the FD, for short. Either way, it's going to be a Dragons ball. Down to you, Gibbsy, on the touchline.
Yeah, upper arm, it was definitely a knock on. It was clear right in front of me, and you could see straight away that wasn't going to be allowed. And look, I'm not really sure what's happening here. Double knock on. He's called the man actually flying just to back the scrum. But Isaiah Iongi, he made a start early on, and then he's attacked the ball really well. But that one is spilled. Here's an opportunity. Time's running out. For 3 minutes and 20 seconds, it's doable. They need to score quick though.
How's your front deltoid?
It's sore. Army.
Wins the screen. Army shoulder comes to the left. Through hands Atkinson, Flanagan, Gutherson links up there on the left wing to Tuipulotu. Tackled 6 out from the line. 3 minutes 23. Oh, the clock stopped. The clock stuffed. Now it starts again. Who knows how long to go? Inside ball to Hamish Stewart, and he's put down 8 metres out from the goal line by Smith. It's played now the short side left. Little to Gutherson, then through the hands of Leilua over the eastern touchline. Game, set, bingo. Parramatta's going to win at home. Dragons will remain winless. 3 minutes to go. Parramatta 30, St George Illawarra 20. We've got a challenge. Let's listen in.
Yeah, Damien's off, so Trent's the one who does it. Got a captain's challenge here, Bucky, from the Dragons. It's been the decision that the ball's gone into touch. Then they believe there's a late tackle, the ball was touched going out.
I reckon it's a free from.
Yeah, but Gutho said it. You said Damien's on it. If he's not on the field though. So Gutho is.
So now there's a debate as to whether Damien Cook is on the field because he's the captain, not Gutherson. There's a lot of talk out there.
Any contact here from Bailey. The ball's tapped backwards. Bailey's already committed to the tackle with an arm out.
That's not high.
Tackle's legal and we're playing on.
And straight over the touchline.
Ball now rolls into touch. Captain shows it unsuccessful.
So it sounded the whole way, Louis, like a bit of a Hail Mary job.
Yeah, it was a free from. They just thought to try their luck. A little bit of collision there. We might get a bit of luck at the ball back in the right field position, but didn't work in their favour. Now all Parramatta have to do is get through their set and kick it really deep into the corner, and they'll be fine.
They're home. Barlow will play a 10 out from his own line after the ball went over the touchline, and it comes right to Simonson. And he's been really busy for Parramatta. Plays the ball to Smith. Comes open side left this time. Tuilagi tackled 20 out from his own line. You're with Luke Lewis, John Gibbs. I'm Andrew Moore. NRL Sunday on ABC Local Radio and ABC Listen and ABC Everywhere. 29 out from the Parramatta line. Ball played now to Smith. Comes to the left to Barlaw. Head down, bum up as he charges into Little and Atkinson and Suar. Tackled 10 short of halfway. Played to Riley Smith. Goes right to Walker. Hop, skip and a jump into the defence of Gula and Little. A metre short of halfway. Last tackle Parramatta. Played to Smith, goes right to Moses. The kick free short of halfway, down to the fullback Gutherson. He takes it easily, 8 metres out from his own goal line with 2 minutes to go. He turns it into Tuipulotu, dummies his way straight past Williams, and now taken over the top there by Sam Tuivasa. Right on the Dragons, 20. Gutherson, dummy half. He sends it right to Setu 2. And he's scored by Smith, 28 out from his own line. Little goes to his right, Flanagan away to Suar with a right foot step after the game. All the post-game reaction on field with John Gibbs. The next 12 or 13 minutes, Louis' ABC Player of the Year points as Leilua got a short ball on to Sully. Great tackle by Williams, 3 short of halfway, eastern side. Played to Gutherson, goes open side right to a stepping Leilua. Gets away from Guymer, then goes straight back the other way. One-handed pass to Flanagan, away to Gula. Gula, a wrap-around ball, back to Flanagan. Cut-out pass over the top to Atkinson. Atkinson decides to run. Offloads now on his outside to Suar. Eongi's there, tackle made.
Look inside.
The ball is running out at Gutherson. Chip and chase. He hits the deck. Players hit the deck all over the place. Caught by Riley Smith for Parramatta. And again, Lewis and George Illawarra just refused to pass the ball when something's on.
3 players pushing up inside. Jaden Sewell, all you do is look in. He tried to go off his right and do it himself. All you do is pass to Gutherson. He would have been under the sticks. Still would have been hard for him to come back and win, but they would have had a full set to ask a couple of questions.
All right,
the game.
Smith for Parramatta. 43 seconds to go. Dummy half Peasant. Sent it right to the Fox. Addo-Carr tackled 17 out from his own line. Parramatta 30, St George Illawarra 20. Riley Smith sends it right to Simonson again. Got away from a couple. Comes back to the left. Straightens into Suar and Little. And on his back, 29 out from his own line. 20 seconds remaining on the ticking clock. Smith sends it away to Moses on the last. End over end kick. Getting back there is Setu 2 with a catch on his 20. Then he throws a 25-metre pass away to Gufferson. Over the 30 he goes. 5 seconds to go. On the inside, Chupalotto went without it. And it's going to be a knock-on to end the game. And Parramatta wins. They were down 14-6. 5.5 minutes before half-time. But Parramatta does beat St George Illawarra 30 points to 20. For the Eels, 5 tries to 3. Tries to Jonah Pezzett, a penalty try awarded to him in the 11th minute. Talon De Silva in the 35th. Kitione Kautonga in the 39th. Talon De Silva's second try in the 45th minute. And Josh Addo-Carr in the 74th. Mitch Moses, 5 goals from 5 attempts. Charlie Guyman in the 56th minute was sin bin for a professional foul. 6 restarts for the Eels. None in the second half to either side, actually. For St George Illawarra, 20 points. Tries to Luciano Leilua in the 13th minute. Jaden Suar in the 24th, Moses Sully in the 57th, Val Holmes, 4 goals from 4 attempts, Ryan Couchman sin bin in the 28th minute and put on report for a hip drop, 1 successful and 1 unsuccessful challenge, 1 restart. Penalties finished 7-2 in favour of the Dragons, but after leading 18-14 at half-time, Parramatta 30 defeats St George Illawarra 20. 30 points to 20 before a very good crowd, 25,573. It was a good win in the end for the Eels, wasn't it, Louis?
It was a great win for the Eels. They had to dig deep. But again, they didn't do much in the first half until the last 6 or 7 minutes, and they worked their way back into the game. They got in front, went in at half time, and they had to dig deep to get it. But yeah, they did a really good job. I thought Talon De Silva was the man who changed the game for him. He came out with so much energy, done a really good job out there. But we've got Ralph down there with his hand up.
Yes, thank you. Jonah Pezzett, I believe it is, for John Gibbs.
Yeah, it is, Jonah. Jonah, that was a 10-point margin, but it was a tough game.
Yeah, that was boys going down everywhere there. That was lots of ball in play, and mate, they got a big team, and when they get on a roll, they're bloody hard to stop. But we fought hard, and I don't know how many sets we defended on our line there, but far out we fought hard, and they scored off 1 kick, so couldn't be proud of the boys.
Yeah, and just before, 14-6 it was that you trailed. They jumped away to a good lead. You pegged them back. You hit the lead just on the stroke of half-time. Beautiful kick, of course, yours for Kautonga, and also Talon De Silva, a couple of tries quickly, one before half-time, one after, but you never could get quite away from them.
Yeah. It's going to happen in the game these days with momentum and penalties. You have a bad end of set and the other team rolls up under the field and then you're under the pump. So, yeah, couldn't be proud of the boys tonight. We kept turning up, fought hard, and we got 2 points.
How are you feeling with that combination with Mitchell in particular, sharing the responsibility? How's that going?
Yeah, no, it's really good. He's keeping my role simple and it's making his job easier too. And the last 2 weeks we were better and combined well and finding some points. So, no, it's working well.
Well, it's been brave wins the last couple of weeks. We get another test on the weekend, of course, up against Penrith here at Western Sydney, a Penrith home game. But right here, that'll be another great test because they're the benchmark at the moment.
Yeah, no, they've been really good. I think they're 3-0 and they've set the tone the last 5 years with their starts and how they compete on every play and they keep turning up. So we'll go in tomorrow and we'll review this and then we'll move on to them and stick together as a unit and there we go again next week.
Good win, Jonah. Thanks for joining ABC Sport.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, Jonah Pezzett down there with John Gibbs. We're with you for about another 9 minutes here and most of you will then join Quentin Hull and the team at Townsville Stadium for North Queensland against the Gold Coast Titans. All right, let's get some reaction from the St George Illawarra camp, John Gibbs.
Well, I think after talking to Jonah Pezzett, probably similar to Daniel Atkinson. Daniel, you led, you trailed, you were never out of the game though. It was always alive. It was a good game.
Yeah, it was a good game. Obviously, we're on the wrong side of it. It was there to be taken, but yeah, credit to Parra. They hung in there, and we just couldn't cross the line in the end.
Probably when you're struggling to win games, you probably overplay your hand a little bit. Not you, but just the team. You know, you get a little bit urgent.
Yeah, definitely. I think we obviously want to get a win on the board. Obviously, 3-0 is not good, but we're not out of it. We just got to hang in there. We got the team to do it. We got the quality to do it. We just got to do it for 80 minutes.
And it is, I mean, it's the way St George Illawarra has been. I know you weren't here until this year, but you've been in so many games, and those close ones can't quite get over the line.
Yeah, I know there is that stigma, but we know what we can do. We know what we're capable of. So while this hurts, we've got to review it. It'll hurt more, but we're on the next week after this.
Now, there's an eerie coincidence to last week. Last week, Harry Grant scores on the stroke of half-time. You trailed 18-14. Exactly the same situation today with Kartonga scoring late, and they go to the lead at half-time. I mean, it all adds up.
Yeah, obviously, it's you preview all week. No hookers going through, especially De Silva and Smith here. We review it all week, and yeah, it is annoying when it happens in the game, but that's the game. People are going to make errors, and we've got to move on from that.
You got the Titans next Sunday night.
Yeah, so obviously watch review, and then once review's done, we're all eyes on Titans.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Daniel Atkinson, St George Illawarra halfback. Down with it there with John Gibbs. Parramatta winning by 30 points to 20 here at Western Sydney Stadium. Gibbsy, down to you again.
Yeah, Isaiah Iongi with me, and he's been congratulated by one of the St George Illawarra players. But Isaiah, that was a tough game. It was entertaining, big crowd here. Could you feel the vibe?
Yeah, definitely felt the vibe. It was good to come back home. First came back home and all the fans were here, so it was good to get the win.
Now, Isaiah, a little bit of a shaky start under the Bombs at the start. It's like something, whether you're going to message or what, but after that, you went for him aggressively, getting up in the air and really positive.
Yeah, I think just comes from Foxy. He was just saying in there and be real confident on the high balls, and just took his advice and went for it, yeah.
You must be really pleased with the way things are coming along, not only for Parramatta. You had a good finish to the year, big win against Brisbane, good win at home in front of a big crowd today. Things are looking good for the Eels.
Yeah, it is looking good. I think it's just off the back of our hard work throughout the back end of last year, and coming into pre-season we had a real big focus on defence and starting games fast, and I think, yeah, it's just good to show what we've been working on the last couple of months.
And what about next week? It could be a little bit of sledging against your old teammates, Penrith.
Yeah, no, it'll be a good game. I'm excited for that one.
And how good are they going?
Yeah, they're going real good. They're obviously a tough team, and then they have been for the last couple of years, so it's going to take a big one for us to come up with the win against them. So, yeah, we'll focus on that this week.
Well, Isaiah, you're going really well. Thanks for joining ABC Sport. Well done.
Cheers, thank you.
All right, we'll get a final thought off you in a minute or two, Gibbsy. In fact, you can make your way back up to the broadcast box for the remains of the show. For those that will still be with us, we're 4.5 minutes away from heading to Quentin Hull. Grant Bell and Laurie Spina in Townsville. Luke Lewis, after a 30 points to 20 win for Parramatta over St George Illawarra. What about your ABC Player of the Year points?
Well, I couldn't go past Talon De Silva. Come off the bench, and just when he come on the field, he changed the momentum for the Parramatta Eels. He played really, really well. He scored 2 tries. He was everywhere. He could have scored 3. I reckon if he come off his right and didn't come off his left. But and then he got winded and he come back on and again was a handful. So I'm going to give him 3 points tonight. I thought he was really, really good. My 2, I had to give Moses Sully. Now, I don't normally give losing teams points, but he was Dragons' best by far. Every time he ran the ball, he was devastating. He was making people miss tackles. He always looked promising with ball in hand. So he got my 2. And Sam Tuivasa got my 1. I thought he was really, really good for Parramatta, right through the middle of the field. His work rate was huge. I'd love to know how many metres he run. So it felt like he was putting his hand up every second set.
Yeah.
His defence in the middle, even right at the end there, he was still in every kick chase line. He was making his tackles. He did a good job.
All right, so 3 Talon De Silva, 2 Moses Sully, and 1 point Sam Tuivasa. 2 benchies and a centre.
There you go.
Losing side. There you go. You've mixed it up. 30 to 20 Eels over Dragons. On the text line 0467 920 222. Val Holmes should get 3 Dally M points for that effort. Go Paris, says Mitch. What a sporting weekend. Dragons lost. Swans lost. Waratahs lost. Sydney FC lost. Matildas lost. Harrogate Town, my English soccer team, lost. New South Wales Breakers lost. Gee, I love sport. Stephen from Engerthing. It's a shocker. Great call, boys. Sunday Arvo footy. You can't beat it. And the gear steward says the Eels successfully navigate the Rapids. Very good. I don't need ABC Rapid to know the Panthers will be premiers in 2026, says Murray in the Blue Mountains. Parramatta Rachel's happy. Good on you, Rachel. 0467 920 222. Gibbsy, if your front deltoid is sore, take some ABC Rapid is the advice from Bulldog. And Sue says, absolute best call team on the air. Have a very happy birthday tomorrow, Andrew. Sue, I will. I really appreciate that. Around the grounds, Queensland Cup. The Ipswich Jets defeated Brisbane 48-6, 24 all North Devils and South Logan. Dolphins 36 beat Winner Manly 16. PNG Hunters leading the Clydesdales 24-4. Jersey Flegg, Penrith 28 defeated the Roosters 26. New South Wales Cup, St George Illawarra 38 defeated Parramatta 8. And Penrith 38 defeated the Sydney Roosters 12. In the AFL, Port Adelaide 133, thrashed Essendon 70. A-League Women, Canberra United 3 defeated Adelaide United 2. Melbourne City has beaten the Wanderers 2-1. In the A-League men, Newcastle scored late to defeat Sydney FC 2-1. Netball, Melbourne Vixens 68 defeated the GWS Giants 52. And currently the Melbourne Mavericks 50, leading the New South Wales Swifts 44. Whew, all right. A win for the Eels, still to come. We'll be heading there shortly. The majority of listeners for North Queensland and the Gold Coast. Who are you tipping in that game, ultimately? Louis, 2 winless teams at the moment.
Yeah, it's a tough one, but you know what? I'm going to go Gold Coast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go Gold Coast to beat the Cowboys.
All right. A reminder tomorrow night, NRL Monday. The show I host between 6:30 and 7:30 Australian Eastern Daylight Time. Some listeners get it from 7 p.m, some on delay in Queensland for another week or two. But we'll be there. Michael Carianis will join me as co-host. And then Thursday night on air from 7 p.m. local time at Brookvale. Manly Warringah against the Sydney Roosters, shaping as a pretty important game for very, very early in the season. And then Friday night we'll get things started with the 6 o'clock game in Auckland. Louis Gibbsy and myself will be in the boardroom for Warriors v West Tigers. Louis, great fun as always. I know we're sticking around for another 20 minutes for some listeners, and Gibbsy will rejoin us back in the broadcast box. Your texts remain welcome for us and for Q and the team on 0467 920 222. So on digital local radio, staying with us for another 20 minutes or so, but by far and away the majority of you off to Townsville, Cowboys and Titans. If you're leaving, thanks so much for your company today as we take you to Quentin Hull at Townsville Stadium.
Andrew, thank you and welcome to the final game of round 3. Two teams desperate to get on the board in 2026. The 0-2 hosts the Cowboys against the 0-2 visitors, the Gold Coast Titans, in conditions which are pretty kind for this time of year. Not too humid. It's going to be warm enough. Certainly, you can feel that you're in the northern reaches of the continent, but not to the extent where it feels like you need swimming cap and goggles walking down the street, and that can be the case with the humidity in these parts at this time of year. What a pleasure it is to be alongside two of the originals that continue to be close to the game, have their passion and knowledge at their heart, and bring it to you here on ABC Sport. The inaugural skipper and the inaugural coach of the North Queensland Cowboys, Grant Bell, up alongside me. Laurie Spina's down on the touchline. Belly, finally, the Cowboys fans get to see their team at home, and they see them after a couple of performances which haven't instilled much confidence, but it's still early in the season. How are you?
Early season, but a couple of lacklustre performances. I think you were saying earlier, Quentin, that perhaps some of last year had washed away, but then some of it's been renewed this year.
Yeah, the pressure sort of gets forgotten for a bit, but when you get beaten by two teams that have been among the strugglers of the last couple of seasons in the first fortnight, with a coach that's already seemingly got the guillotine just being poised, it doesn't make those stories go away, does it?
No, it doesn't, and I think that the pressure is on, and the game starts with defence, Quentin, and the Cowboys have to get their defence right first and foremost. From that, if you're defending strongly, if you're moving through with aggression, your line's coming up, you've got line speed, you've got all those things happening. Your kick chase is strong. That, for me, is always a great indicator that your team's on song. Those opportunities with the football will come. It's the same as when you've got the ball, think run, the pass will come. And I think sometimes the players were looking and trying to force some creativity rather than saying, let's just take the ball down the field and the opportunities will present once we make the meters and once we create things. I'm really looking forward to an improved Cowboys defence. I thought on the other side of the token, last weekend, I saw a big improvement in the Titans defence. I really saw a hunger that was there in the trials. I thought they started to build from it. And, if they take another step forward like they did last week's game, the Cowboys could be in for some trouble today.
Voice of Grant Bell, great to have him back on board for 2026. And as I throw down to Laurie Spina on the touchline and welcome him to yet another season of footy here in Townsville, congrats to you and to, of course, another member of our extended team, your daughter Ash, on the birth of her first child, a little baby girl. So granddad yet again. Laurie, welcome to you. A nice little family side story there as we get into the footy for the first time up here. How are you?
Yeah, thanks, Hugh. Thanks, Hugh. Thanks very much. I held little baby Molly for an hour yesterday, slept in my arms, yeah, over the moon. Ash is so happy. I'm sure one day she'll love sport like her mother. But yeah, it's a warm day down here. Not really hot, but still 60% humidity. And the crowd is a little bit small. Maybe something to do with the fuel price. A lot of people travel, but yeah, looking forward to a close game. The field's in beautiful condition here. I'm sure it'll be a fast game, and I hope both coaches have done a lot of defence through the week because they need to be. I know the Titans had a really good first half, a little bit poorer in the second half, and the Cowboys, their defence was really lacklustre. Looking for a lot of desperation there, but yeah, I'm sure a lot of tries will be scored. Looking forward to the first game at the Cowboy Stadium.
Well, here comes interesting on that. Most granddads will take their new bubs on a push in the stroller. Laurie took her for a ride in the harvester.
Nah, in the couch. Can't go out just yet.
The Titans have just run onto the field. Keanu Kenny is at fullback. Siali Fayamani and Phil Sami on the wings. Jojo Fafita and Max Fianai in the centres. AJ Bremson's been joined in the halves by Jaden Campbell, who is back from his hamstring injury and will start for the Titans for the first time in 2026. Mo Fodawaker up front with Tino Fa'asua Malaawi. Sam Verrills is the hooker. Atamaho and Bo Fermor in the second row. And Chris Randall plays his 100th game in the NRL. He is the lock forward for the Titans. And the half dozen of which Josh Hannay can choose 4 of on the bench. Lachlan Elias, Kurt Moran, Tuki Simpkins, Cleese Haas, Cooper Fye and Josh Paxton. Here come the Cowboys. Scott Drinkwater's at fullback. Braden Burns and Murray Taulungi play on the wings. Jackson Purdue and Tom Chester in the halves. Jake Clifford in the centres. Jake Clifford and Tom Dearden are in the halves. Jason Tamalolo starts up front with Griffin Neem, so as was the case last week, Hess named in the number 8 shirt but plays off the bench. So it's Tamalolo and Neem up front with Marnie the hooker. Helam Lukey and Sam McIntyre in the second row. Ruben Cotter returns from personal leave after his wife Mackenzie underwent another bout of heart surgery. Great to see Ruben Cotter back. And the bench is Hess, Luke O'Donnell, Labert, Lars and Lodge. That's the whistle of Peter Goff, the referee. Liam Kennedy's in the bunker and the final game of round 3 is underway with the Cowboys taking first possession. They're running away from the open end of the stadium towards that right of your radio dial. Neem with the first carry and then Lukey on play 2 is wrapped up 20 metres from that open northern end in pretty kind conditions, it must be said, for this time of year in Townsville. Tamalolo up to the 30 with the next carry for North Queensland. There's Marty in his first home game as a Cowboy. To the left, he gives it through Cotter onto McIntyre. McIntyre, who celebrated a birthday during the week. He's tackled 10 short of halfway, mucking around in the ruck there from Campbell. And there's the ping and 6 more early on for the Cowboys. So they get into attacking territory up a run from Cotter and have a fresh set. Now Tamalolo runs forward and he's only 32 metres out. So off that set restart, the Cowboys have got themselves in attacking position. Marnie goes right for Dearden, who feeds the infield line of Chester. Chester running, gets tackled, gets an offload away to Neem, who's 30 out, accelerates up to the 20 before being tackled by Fermor. Setterfield off to the right. Marnie gives it on to Tamalolo. Another rumbling surge. He started well, 3 runs early for Big JT. Only 8 metres out, 10 to the right of the uprights, and another Wavy fisty here, a reset for the Cowboys. They shift it left. Did and Drinkwater. Oh, good defence out there on the right edge from the Titans. Jojo Fafita got in the face of Purdue and smashed him as soon as he got it. It needed to be good. Another set on the attack here for the Cowboys. Titans haven't seen the ball yet. Drinkwater gives it. No way through for Lukey. Cut down on the right edge and 9 metres from the goal line. Ball played to Money, given left and centre field. Flat ball from Dearden onto Cotter, who's held up by 2 defenders, only a metre from the goal line. Played to Marnie, distributed right. Dearden through Drinkwater, holds it, gives it. Nice tackle from Finney to stop the run of Chester a couple of metres out. Cowboys out in the right now, left and centre field with the pass. Dearden through Marnie onto Clifford, who ran an obstruction line and has to stop. And he does. That's a dozen out, and now last play. Third set in a row off a couple of pings. Cowboys to the right. Drinkwater gives it to Lukey. Great stop from Brimson around his ankles. And somehow the Titans survive, having invited trouble with a couple of set restarts, and they're gassed far from their own line.
Yeah, they will be gassed. It's going to be a tough set for the Titans coming away from their line. 3 sets back to back. They're really going to need the outside backs to involve themselves, Quentin.
Parramatta won earlier today, 30 points to 20. You can get in touch on 0467 920 222 as Fiamani makes a good run up to the 20, and now a bit of space down the middle for Keanu Kinney. That's a good gain of 15 for the zippy fullback. Quick to get to his feet, plays the ball. Now Brimson runs off the right shoulder of Verrills. Almost gets to halfway. Referee Goff says that's 5. End of the first set for the Titans, who get downfield courtesy of the right boot of Jaden Campbell. It's a high, deep kick caught by Taulungi, defensive left corner for the Cowboys. And Murray Taulungi's kick returns about 25 metres from the line he's defending. So you mentioned Laurie down the touchline, about 60% humidity, bit of rain, about a lot of rain up north. How's it feel down there early on?
Yeah, a lot of sweating on my forehead, that's for sure. Plenty of sweat on those players, but I see a lot of good defence from the Titans. Josh Hannay, you can see it in his coaching. A lot of good communication out wide, especially, Q.
Drinkwater having a dance on halfway for the Cowboys, eventually runs into the tackle of Fasua Malaawi, and Drinkwater will play it. 45 from the Cowboys line, no score early. To the left, Tamalolo onto Clifford, who dummies and straightens, but into the tackle of Atamaho. Last play here, Cowboys 35 metres out. Dearden's going to be the architect. What's his move? It's a bomb to the left wing, which bounces untouched in the field of play and then over the touchline. So it will be a handover and a Titans ball. Just a big shout out, no doubt. We've had listeners throughout the weekend tuning into the footy, but with the Cowboys game on, Grant, I reckon those that are still cleaning up from Narelle, there'll be plenty of Cowboys fans up there who probably don't have their regular creature comforts for the footy and have got the battery radios pumping out the footy. Great to have you with us. I hope this brings a bit of joy and a bit of relaxation for you as you clean up from the cyclone that's gone through there the last couple of days.
Yeah, we've had some pretty tough weather conditions right up through the north, and some really loyal fans of the rugby league. And yeah, as you say, hopefully they're listening in and bringing something bright to their Sunday evening.
You can get in touch on 0467 920 222. No score through 5 minutes. Titans with the ball, and it's Fermor with it as he walks almost up to halfway, carrying the tackle of Chester with him. Now he pushes Chester away to play the ball to Verrills. Pass right in centre field through Brimson, on to a buffeting run of Randall. Chris Randall in his 100th game, his 4th year at the Titans, having played 29 games of that ton at the Knights. Left side of the ruck, Dearden rushes out of the line to make a one-on-one tackle on Brimson. Brimson plays it 42 from the Cowboys line. Pass one man infield for a Campbell bomb at the end of the set. It'll come down about 10 metres out, taken pretty comfortably by Drinkwater, who'll get up to the 20 before being stopped. No score through 5.5 minutes, and Cowboys get a penalty for a flop, and the Titans already, their discipline has been called to task by referee Peter Goff.
Yeah, well, I was just looking at the intensity of the kick chase. It wasn't there from the Titans, and that then results in, silly penalties, a flop in there to try and control the speed, whereas the effort first and the effort of the kick chase gives you the opportunities later on. It needed to be strong.
So the kick for touch finds it right on halfway. On the line here. The crowd's probably 2/3. Oh, am I being kind?
Yeah, I think you've been kind.
Yeah, maybe only just over half full. Yeah. First carry taken by Lukey. He stopped 45 metres out. Now back to Tamalolo down the middle third. And centres things up. He's tackled 38 metres from the Titans line. So it's been all Cowboys in attack so far. No points to show for it yet. To the left, Clifford links up on that edge, but the Cowboys aren't able to get through that right side defence. The run there from McIntyre. He stopped, plays it now to the right, Neem through Dearden. Drinkwater to the right edge for Burns. Great tackle, Bremson around his hips. Chester it was. 20 metres out in the right. Now back to left and centre field from Dearden to Clifford, who kicks for the left wing for Taulungi. Oh, it hit the back of Siali Fayamani and then is battered dead by Jojo Fafita. Fayamani was looking at Taulungi and the footy hit him on the back, and luckily for him, the ricochet was kind for Fafita to send it dead.
Very, very fortunate result there. The ball could have gone anywhere and fortunately cleaned up. I'd like to see a little bit more imagination through the sets from the Cowboys halves. I just think that they need something to offer rather than 5 tackles for a kick when they get down to those attacking zones.
Bit of a wobbling dropout, and it gets very close to the touchline in the end on our side, the western side. Lukey picks it up. It's a bit of a rolling kick, and he's tackled 30 from the Titans line. So they're in that right corner, the Cowboys, and fed one man infield, and Burns is going to get to his feet, plays the ball 25 out. Now Tamalolo receives to the left. Clifford through the hands to Drinkwater on the edge. He beats one, beats two, gives the pass, and the try is scored by the Cowboys on that left side. Who's gone in the end? I don't think it was Taulungi out there.
I think it was Virgil.
Yeah, I thought it was. I just wanted to double check. It's a Cowboys try nonetheless, out on that left edge. And
it was Murray. It
was Taulungi there, congratulating him. Cowboys nonetheless with that first try after consistent pressure. Yeah, Drinkwater. Yeah, Purdue was there but didn't run in the support line, and Taulungi was there to score the try. Cowboys 4, Titans 0, kick to come.
Yeah, and really there was not too much in the try there. It was a matter of attrition. The Titans forwards, they look exhausted already. They've had no possession, and we're nearly 9 minutes into the game. It was a missed tackle there. They're coming to the side where Campbell is. There's always a bit of an extra pressure, I think. As much as Campbell's prepared to put his body on the line defensively, it always leaves players to hold up a little bit, and that can leave the edge exposed. And certainly there, the Cowboys running some good lines, Drinkwater in particular, and he's a player who I think needs a big game tonight. He's been struggling with that injury, but was struggling a little bit over in the US as well, and he ran into that space and then picked up Taulungi through the line.
So a third try already for the season for Murray Taulungi. And this conversion attempt for Jake Clifford is only a couple of metres in from touch on the left wing side, the eastern side, for the man kicking to the southern end. Strikes it with his right boot. Oh, beautiful kick. Raises the flags. Cowboys get the jump in Townsville. North Queensland 6 leads Gold Coast 0. NRL Sunday on ABC Sport with Quentin Hale, Grant Bell and Laurie Spina around the grounds earlier today. Parramatta 30 over St George Illawarra 20. In the Queensland Cup second half, the PNG Hunters 24 lead the Clydesdales 14. In the AFL, big win for Port over Essendon earlier today. First quarter score, North Melbourne 25 lead the Eagles 6. In the A-League, game to come later between Perth and Melbourne. That hasn't kicked off yet. Super Netball, Melbourne Mavericks 60 lead the New South Wales Swifts 59. And that earlier score in the A-League women, it was Canberra United 3 defeated Adelaide United 2, and it was a 2-1 win for Melbourne City over Western Sydney. Off the kickoff, Cowboys up towards the 30. Middle of the park, Tamalolo, who's had a very big start to the game, gets himself up, plays the ball. Now it's McIntyre. Sam McIntyre, left edge, 15 in from touch on that left and 15 from halfway. Plays it, couple of hands to centre field. Dearden pops a ball.